दुःखे सदार्ताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने गौराश्रय विग्रहाय कृष्णकामैकचारिणे रूपानुगप्रवराय विनोदिति स्वरूपिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्यजल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दिनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत द्वांत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांबोधे पादांबुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सचिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौरविर्भाव भूमिस्तम निर्दिष्टा सज्जन प्रिया वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सरतोर्पंगोर मम मंदमतिर्गतिः मत्सरसुपदाम्बुजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदा श्रीमद्रत्नाकार सिंहासनस्थौ शिशिराधा शिल गोविंद देव प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रासरसारम्भे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुशनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्वनाम वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा सर्वप्रथम अस्मदे गुरुपाद पद्म नित्यला पृष्ठ जगत गुरु श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज जी के अभय चरण अरविंदों में अनंत कोटि दंडोत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। उनकी कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। तदंतर उपस्थित दंडी पाद सन्यासी श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत दंडी महाराज भक्तिवेदांत दंडी महाराज नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धास प्रभु जी और समस्त वैष्णवी के चरणों में यथा के दंडोत प्रणाम अर्पण करते हुए उनके अहितु की कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। आज चैतन्य महाप्रभु का जन्मदिन है। टुडे वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग द birthday of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Srila Gurudev has said time and again that Mahaprabhu is eternal. There is no, just like the Jivatma, na jayate mrete ba kadachin nayam bhutpa bhavita vana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranu na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Just as living entity has no birth and death, but Krishna is the source of all living entities. How he could have any birth or death? Understand? So we'll discuss today the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What was the last time we left? Which verse we left? Adi Leela, some chapter? Anyone knows? Adi Leela, which verse we left? Or we can just discuss Gaura appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu today, maybe. That is more appropriate.
Yes, whatever you think is appropriate, Maharaj.
Okay. So we'll
Thank
start here. We are now reading Chaitanya Charitamrut, and we'll discuss from Adi Leela, I think. So, Nilambar Chakravarti and appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, Antar Krishna Bahir Gaura Darshitanga Divaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadhyasma Krishna Chaitanya Mashre. He is inside, he is Krishna, but outside he has the golden complexion. And that's why he has taken the mood of Radharani. And we discussed already that how he had three desires. Radhaya Pranay Mahima Kidursho Vanayeva स्वाद्येनाद्भुत मधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीया सौख्यम चास्याः मदन भवता कीदृशम वेति लोभा तद भावाढ्य समजनी सच गर्भ सिंधु अरिंदु. He basically came to understand the moods of Radharani, how much love she has for him. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he is the more merciful than Krishna because he has taken the complexion of Radharani. So the reason he came, that is also explained. The first reason he came that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyam परित्राणय साधुनाम विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Bhagavan has said in Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is a decline in religion and increase in religion, to subdue the demons and to encourage the devotees, I appear. So basically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came like this, but that is the job of Mahavishnu. Srila Gurudev was telling, I was hearing his lecture carefully, then he's saying that to increase religion and to subdue religion, this is Yuga Dharma, and that is the job of Mahavishnu or Gaura Narayan. Means it is not original Krishna who has to do this, but within his body there is Mahavishnu who subdues the demons. Understand? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the reason that he came. He wanted to encourage the devotees and subdue the demons, or transform the heart of the demons, not kill them really, because in Kali Yuga he didn't take any weapon. He did not take any weapon, and he only changed their hearts by Nama Sankirtan, by injecting Krishna consciousness in them, and that is what it is. He's actually, his name is also Krishna Chaitanya. Chaitanya means consciousness. He is giving the Krishna consciousness. The literal translation of the word Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna consciousness. Like we say, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The society which was founded to make people Krishna conscious. So this 13th chapter, jump to the 13th chapter. Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that this 13th chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. The entire Adi Leela section describes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's household life. And similarly, the Anta Leela describes his life in the sannyas order. So as you see that Mahaprabhu was he was in the household life. He entered household life. He married Lakshmi Priya. And then when Lakshmi Priya left the world in separation, when Mahaprabhu went to Bangladesh, Lakshmi Priya felt great separation. And the separation like snake beat her. Snake-like separation beat her, as they say. And Srila Gurudev was telling this, what is separation? And Gurudev was explaining very nicely. Na vina viparalambena sammogasya pashna mustate kashaya topi ragopi sada guya vivardhate. From Ujjwal Nilamani, Srila Gurudev was quoting this, that separation is also sometimes required to enhance the love. Understand? So Lakshmi Priya felt the separation and she went back to Vaikuntha planet because she is Lakshmi herself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu married second time. This time he married Vishnu Priya, who is the personification of ninefold devotional service. The Dham of Navadvip is also ninefold devotional service. And Srila Gurudev said that Godrumadip is the deep of Kirtana. Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Patiyache Nama Hata Jivera Karan. So distribution of Nama Sankirtan. This Nama Sankirtan also very, very important, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated it through Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu opened a marketplace of holy name in Navadvip Dham. And as per their level of advancement, Shraddha, Nishtha, Ruchi, gave them Krishna Nam. But Srila Gurudev was telling actually a very funny thing in his lecture, that he was telling that even Nama Sankirtan, you can pay money and engage people in Nama Sankirtan, he said. But he said to understand the Rasa Tattva, this is very difficult. Hare Krishna. So this Rasa Tattva is very difficult. And we have to enter into this Rasa Tattva. Again and again, Srila Gurudev was talking about understanding the deep moods of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, unless we do that, everything else is external. And he was telling the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement. He said the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement is not to establish Varnashram Dharma. That is not the purpose. But he said to understand the Rasa Tattva, that is very, very important. And Varnashram Dharma, if it is supportive of Krishna consciousness, then it can be accepted. But that is not the goal of Krishna consciousness movement. But Mahaprabhu showed by his ideal household life that he was a perfect grihastha. Anyone can find his life. But then he took sannyas. Srila Gurudev was telling that how he took sannyas, that Vishnu Priya, Mahaprabhu never used to talk to her so much, never used to show her an affection like a husband would show to a wife. But one particular day, he started showing a great affection to her. She went to the Ganges river and she saw that her foot struck against a stone. Like sometimes on this road, some stones are there, and her toe hit a stone on the road, and it started bleeding. Her toe was broken and started bleeding, which is not an auspicious sign. And that day she lost a nose ring. In marriage, the woman get a nose ring, and that nose ring fell down in the Ganga and it got lost. So actually, for a married woman, it's very inauspicious that her nose ring is gone. So she realized that something inauspicious is going to take place. She had an inkling, and Srila Gurudev was telling that when you are setting out on journey, and sometimes a crow will crow, caw, 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 like this, or sometimes cat will cross your road or something like that, some inauspicious omen, as they call it. And Gurudev said then some problem will come on the journey. Understand? So there are the planets, Gurudev was telling, have a very close relationship with our human life. Like Gurudev never used to travel on the Navami night, Navami day. The 9th day in the lunar cycle, Navami is strictly forbidden. I heard that Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj also used to never travel on the Thursday afternoon. It's called Barbela in Bengali, they call it. It's not auspicious time to do any work. I personally experienced that when I travel on Thursday afternoon, always landed in a problem or got stuck in traffic jam or something. So I'm also scared of traveling on Thursday afternoon. But sometimes you have no choice because you have booked a ticket, this and that. And then in that case, there are some mantras which I will email to you, which you can chant to avoid the problems in your journey. Understand? Which in Madhva Sampradaya Panjika, I saw these mantras. Anyways, or we remember Krishna and then Sankate Madhusudanam, as they say, that we chant the name of Lord Madhusudan when you are in danger, then that will also eradicate the obstacles. Remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then all the obstacles are gone. So anyways, Vishnu Priya, she lost her nose ring that day, her toe was hurt. And then she came home and Mahaprabhu was talking sweetly to her. He decorated her hair by a wonderful garland of flowers and Beli, Chameli, and personally decorated her. She wanted not to sleep that night because she felt he might leave. But she was telling herself, I don't want to sleep, I don't want to sleep. But Yoga Maya is the one potency of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which arranges the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna. She placed, like Gurudev says, like 1,000,000 ton of Himalayan mountains on her eyelids. Like her eyelids, she was possibly trying to keep them open, but they closed anyways. And she fell asleep. And when she fell asleep, gently, Mahaprabhu had taken her head in his lap, and he was pampering her that night. But he kept her head down and he went to his mother. Mother also had some idea that he's going to leave. He circumambulated the mother. Mother had no strength to stop Mahaprabhu. And then he left for good. And then he jumped in the river in the cold season. Gurudev said in the 15th day in the lunar cycle, or the day after Sankranti, in the month of January, very cold that time in India, also in America, I think. And with his clothes, he crossed and he took sannyas, renounced order of life. He got the name Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gurudev was making a point that he was never called Mahaprabhu in Navadvip Dham. No one would accept him as Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord. And Gurudev was telling that we have to simply forget this now. He said, we have learned so much that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Billions and billions of universes are coming from he can do anything, and he's all powerful and this and that. But Gurudev was telling that if you want to do Raganuga Bhakti, then you have to forget that he's the Supreme Lord. You have to simply remember that he's Radha Raman, he's Yashoda Nandan, Vrajanarandan, Shyam Sundar, Krishna, like this. And I was watching one video of Srila Gurudev, and Gurudev was telling that when devotees went to Barshana, they went to the house of Mother Kirtida and Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and Vrishabhanu Kunda is also there. In some Kalpa, Radharani is found in a lotus there. Sometimes she is found in Raval. So Gurudev was telling that we have come here to pray to Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Devi. What we want is we want to become a Palyadasi of Radharani. We want to become maid servant of Radharani. But Gurudev was telling that it's a very lofty goal, and it cannot be fulfilled without the recommendation from Kirtida and Vrishabhanu Maharaj. They are very merciful, and if they recommend to us, then only it will be possible for us to get entrance into Radharani's inner circle of Rup Manjari and Lalita Sakhi and all. Understand? But otherwise, I don't think we'll have any chance. That's what Gurudev was telling. So today also, I think it is very appropriate to pray to Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra that please, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may or may not listen to us, but if we have recommendation from his mother and his father, then the son will generally have to listen. Understand? Son cannot avoid listening to the order of the mother and father. Understand? So this is very, very important. So we'll also pray to the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gurudev was making a very significant point that how Mahaprabhu is gradually sending his associates to the earth. First, he's sending to the mortal world. He's sending Nityananda Prabhu. Advaita Acharya is coming first. Vishnu Priya Devi is coming. Then he is coming. Nityananda Prabhu is coming. Then all the associates are coming. Madhvacharya is coming. Ramanacharya came, and then Mahaprabhu is coming. It means that he first will send his entourage. He will send his delegation first, and then he will personally come. So here, and then Gurudev was also again telling that Mahaprabhu took sannyas. He took sannyas. He went to Jagannath Puri, and there he experienced great mood of separation from Krishna, and he was in Gambhira. Out of the 24 years of sannyas life, 6 years Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent in traveling the length and breadth of India. And 6 years he was doing Kirtan and Jagannath Rathayatra and all that. But 12 years he was simply crying in the Gambhira, small room, Gambhira. And Rai Ramand and Swarup Damodar used to pacify him. And he was experiencing the mood of separation of Radharani. And this mood of separation of Radharani, what he experienced was a very lofty mood, Madanakya Mahabhav. And Gurudev was telling that he experienced the moods of like Madanakya Mahabhav, Mohan, Modan, Madan, all these things he experienced in Gambhira. So some devotees asked Gurudev a question that when Mahaprabhu experienced a mood of separation from Krishna in the mood of Radharani in Jagannath Puri, so did he also have this mood in Navadvip? And Gurudev said, yes, he also had the mood of separation. He already had the mood of Radharani, but it was not revealed in Navadvip Dham. It was revealed little bit when he took initiation. He went to Gaya to do Shraddha of his father, and there he met Ishwar Puripad, and he took Hare Krishna mantra and Gopal mantra. And then that is when he started experiencing separation from Krishna. But it was not fully revealed in Navadvip, but it was still present in Navadvip. And then Gurudev was telling one thing that Mahaprabhu received Gopal mantra, and in our Sampradaya there was only Hare Krishna mantra and Gopal mantra. Only these two mantras were doing the job. And Gurudev was also telling that if someone has received just the Gopal mantra, not even the other Gayatri mantras, then still his Diksha is almost complete, Gurudev told. And this Gopal mantra itself is very powerful. But we are so fallen that simply one Gopal mantra cannot help us because our mind is very restless. We have been given so many more mantras in addition to Gopal mantra. That is only to increase our attachment to Guru and Gauranga and like this. Actually, Guru mantra also was not given previously in our Sampradaya. Means Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati never used to give Guru mantra to anyone else, to his disciples. But Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj once got initiated from him, and then Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Goswami Maharaj said that Gurudev Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, you did not give me Guru Mantra. Then will I have to go to some other Guru to get the Guru Mantra? Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, no, for you I will start giving Guru Mantra. So after only Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Goswami Maharaj, the Guru Mantra and Guru Gayatri was given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Because he said, if I had to go to some other Guru to get Guru Mantra. So anyways, these mantras will help us steady our mind. But Gurudev said that our mind is very restless, especially when we are chanting the Gayatri mantras. So Mahaprabhu took himself Diksha to show the world that everyone must take Diksha. And then Mahaprabhu took sannyas, order of life, and he went to Jagannath Puri. Within the Anta Leela, the first 6 years of his sannyas life are called Madhya Leela. So last pastimes, the 6 years of his sannyas life are Madhya Leela. During this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu toured southern India, went to Vrindavan and returned from Vrindavan and preached the Sankirtan movement. So Mahaprabhu went to actually South India. He went to one place called Udupi. And Udupi, there was one Swamiji was living. His name was Pejavar Swamiji. Swami Vishwesh Tirthaji Swamiji. If you check on YouTube, some videos are there. He was actually a very sweet Swamiji. And Maharaj was exalted Vaishnava. He was expert in Sanskrit, Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, everything. Especially he knew Dvaitavad, the Siddhanta of Sriman Madhvacharya. And he went back to the spiritual world a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. He was very much trying for getting Ram Mandir in India. So Vishwesh Tirtha Swamiji was having a meeting with ISKCON devotees. I think Shripad Radhanath Maharaj had come to meet him. And then he was telling some nice sweet things. He said, we are the same Sampradaya. We are both in the same Sampradaya. And that is true. We are in the Madhva Sampradaya. So in that sense, Mahaprabhu did not create any new Sampradaya. But rather he accepted the Madhva Sampradaya and the basic tenets, the basic instructions of their Sampradaya and our Sampradaya 100% match each other. Because our Sampradaya is Madhva Sampradaya only. And then he was making a funny thing. He was telling that Krishna has attraction power. Vishwesh Tirtha Maharaj was telling Krishna has attraction power, and he said the earth also has attraction power. Like Newton discovered, I think, Newton discovered the gravitational force. I think I heard that there was a pandemic and Newton was sitting under the tree, an apple fell from the tree, and he contemplated why the apple is coming down, why not flying in the air, going up in the sky. Then he discovered the gravitational force of the earth. What is this gravitational pull? He said that is the Sankarshan, attracting. Because underneath the earth, on the head of the Sankarshan is the earth. So Sankarshan is attraction power. So anyways, he said the gravitational pull will pull you down, but Krishna's attraction will pull you up towards Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan. Understand? Today I met a man, he was telling me that my name is, he said, you don't want to hear my name. I said, what is your name? Tell me anyways. He said, my name is Kailasham. In India, people are scared when you say Kailash because anyone dies, they say he's gone to Kailash to be with Lord Shiva. Because India has prominence of Shiva Bhaktas. And I said, my name is Vaikuntham. Above Kailasham, I am Vaikuntham. I mean, we are going higher than the abode of Lord Shiva to Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan. So in India, no one will keep the name of their house as Kailash or Vaikuntha because generally cremation ground is named as Vaikuntha or Kailash. He went to Vaikuntha, he went to Kailash means he's dead, you know. So anyways, we are aiming by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy to even a higher place, that higher than Vaikuntha. So Srila Gurudev was telling that why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and how Rupa Goswami was representing his heart. He told some devotee, read a verse from Upadeshamrut. So he was reading. Then he's telling that the verse was Krishna Swachai Pranaya Vasati Prayasipyopi Radha Kundam Chasya Munivravita Tadrugeva Vidai Yat Preshtarapi Asulabam Kim Punnar Bhakti Bhajam Tat Premedam Sakrutapi Saras Natum Avish Karoti. I think this is one of the last verses of Udeshamrut. And he told the devotee, read the purport of Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Then Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj was writing in the purport that if anyone will bathe in Radha Kund, he will get the same type of love as gopis, especially the maid servants of Radharani. So he said, our aim is to take as many times deep in Radha Kund as possible in our lifetime. Means although we cannot permanently stay in Radha Kund, but if we are in Vrindavan, we should go to Radha Kund as many times as possible and take bath in Radha Kund. Because that Kundera Madhuri Jana Radhara Madhuri, the sweetness of Kunda is same as the sweetness of Radharani, and there is no difference between the Radha Kund and Radharani's liquidated form is Radharani's liquid form is Radha Kund. So Gurudev was telling that these are the all secrets. But why we are trying to hide from our devotees all these secrets? He said, I cannot understand. He said, this is all told by Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj also. So anyways, Gurudev was revealing all these things. And one time one devotee, he was telling actually, they were telling Gurudev that you speak very high, sometimes people criticize you. Then Gurudev said, open a book of Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Then he said, open the book, and he said, read from the Krishna book. They started reading from Krishna book, and there Swami Maharaj was telling that Krishna was kissing the gopis. And Gurudev said, I never speak like this. Means to the beginners also Swami Maharaj was giving this idea of Rasa Leela and, so anyways, the question is not that whether we are advanced or not. Gurudev said, we are not, people we say, don't read Bhagavatam, you are not qualified. You don't discuss Chaitanya Charitamrita, you are not qualified. Then Gurudev said, what is left in the life? If you don't discuss Bhagavatam, if you don't discuss Chaitanya Charitamrita, then if you don't discuss Upadeshamrita or Manas Shiksha, then what is left? Nothing is left in life. So Gurudev said, we must discuss this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, and this point Gurudev was making that, like Parikshit Maharaj, how he was cursed to die in 7 days, and he simply sat on the bank of the river Ganga and heard Bhagavatam. So Gurudev said also, hear attentively this Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavatam. So a learned Brahman named Upendra Mishra, who resided in the district of Srihatta, was the father of Jagannath Mishra, who came to Navadvip to study under the direction of Nilambar Chakravarti, and then settled there after marrying Nilambar Chakravarti's daughter, Shachi Devi. So you see that this is Upendra Mishra, a very learned Brahman. What is Upendra means? Upendra means actually Upa Indra, means young junior Indra, or Indra's younger brother is called Upendra. Upendra is the name of Vamandev. So Vamandev became the younger brother of Indra by the prayer of Aditi Devi. Understand? And Aditi Devi, he prayed to Lord. She prayed to the Lord that please come, and my son is dislodged from the heaven by demons, especially Bali Maharaj. Please reinstate him as the king of heaven. So Lord Vamandev, he went to the court of Bali Maharaj and he demanded some charity. So Shukracharya, he told Bali Maharaj that don't give him charity, he is Vishnu. Then Bali Maharaj he thought in the mind that in this world, only those persons who gave charity became famous. For example, our Bali Maharaj thought that one time the demons did not respect their guru, Brihaspati, especially the demigods, especially Indra did not respect Brihaspati. When Brihaspati came in the assembly, his guru, Indra was dancing, was watching the dance of Apsaras and hearing the singing of Gandharvas. And Guru came and he did not get up from his seat. Actually, when Maharaj was telling that when a great person comes, senior person comes, or Guru comes, or senior Vaishnava comes, actually when we see a senior Vaishnava or Guru, our prana rises in the air. Our prana in our heart starts rising in the air. So we have to get up. Otherwise that prana will not be supported. To give the support to the prana, that it stays in our heart, we have to get up and keep it back in our heart. And if we don't get up, when we see a pure devotee or guru or Vaishnavas, then actually, it's a big offense. For example, when you are doing archan, and when you're doing archan or chanting your mantra, Gayatri mantra, or something, or japa, and if you are if you talk to someone else, then that round is wasted. That round is not considered a round, or that japa is wasted. Then you have to start again. You have to do achman again, and you have to start the mantra japa or archan or something. But if your spiritual master comes, and you leave the japa in between and talk to him and greet him, get up and greet him, and then take his permission to continue the archan, then it is not considered contamination. You don't have to take achman. And if you take achman, you are an offender, actually, because talking to the spiritual master, you are more purified than even an achman. So that it is not considered interruption to respect a Gurudev when he has come. Understand? So Indra did not get up to respect his spiritual master, so spiritual master was angry, and spiritual master thought that this Indra has to be controlled now. Otherwise, he will have even worse the problem in life. So let me leave this silently. He didn't want to curse Indra, but he, just to show mercy to Indra, he left the court. And then when the demons came to know that Brahaspati is no more in the court of Indra, is not supporting him, then they attacked, and Indra was in great trouble. So then he asked what to do now. So then Brahma said that you have to get another spiritual master. Then he got one Vishwarup, son of Twashta Rishi, as the spiritual master. But he had 3 mouths, this Twashta Rishi's son, and by 2 mouths he was giving offerings to the demigods. But 1 mouth he was giving offering to demons, because his mother was from demon side. So this Twashta Rishi's son Vishwarup was giving offering to the demons. Indra became angry and cut his head. So he got this. So Twashta also became very angry, and he chanted some mantras. He did a fire sacrifice and created a son by the name Vrutrasur, was Chitraketu Maharaj in past life. So it was very difficult to kill this Vrutrasur. They went to Narayan. They asked how we can kill this demon. They said you cannot kill him unless you go to Dadichi Rishi. So Dadichi Rishi, they went, and his bones had become strong by chanting Narayan Varma. Narayan Varma means Narayan Kavacham. This stotra is in Bhagavatam. So he said, ask his bones. So, Dadichi said, how can anyone give one's bone? But then he said, okay, anyway, the body is perishable, I'll give my bones. He said, bring some jaggery and bring some curd and apply the jaggery and curd on his body and let the cows come. Cows licked his body clean. All his skin, all his flesh was licked by the cows. Cows have thorny tongues. And then his body was only bones were left, and with that skeleton they made a vajra and many other weapons. And with that weapon, this Vrutrasur was killed. So this example, Bali Maharaj thought that, see, the Dadichi for higher purpose gave even his body. Then another example Bali Maharaj pondered was Shibi. There was a great king Shibi. He was very charitable, and one time his repute reached the heavenly planets. So one time Indra and Yamaraj came to test him. Indra took the shape of Indra only took the shape of a falcon, like a vulture, falcon. And Yamaraj took the shape of a pigeon. And this falcon was chasing the pigeon, and this pigeon came to the shelter of Shibi. So Shibi said to the falcon that you leave alone this pigeon. He's under my shelter. Oh, then he said, no, I cannot leave this pigeon. This is my food. I'm so hungry. So he said, if you want, I will give you my own son. My own son's flesh you can eat. My own biological son, you can eat him. But leave this pigeon alone. He said, no, I will not do that. I don't want your son. I want to eat this pigeon only. So then he said, I will give you my own flesh, body flesh. So he said, okay. They brought one balance, and in one side, pigeon was kept on one side of the balance. Other side of the balance, Shibi was cutting his flesh from his hands, thighs, back, armpits, everything. He was cutting his flesh and he was putting on the other side of the balance. But it so happened that all the flesh on the body of Shibi was finished, but still the still the pigeon was heavier. And still the pigeon was heavier. So that was actually the problem. So pigeon was heavier. So then it came to know that these are not ordinary pigeon. This is actually Indra, and this is actually Yamaraj, Yamaraj are testing the Shibi Maharaj charitable nature, and then they blessed Shibi Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj contemplated on this. Then Bali Maharaj thought that if Shibi can give his own flesh and Dadiji can give his own bones, why should not give my all possessions to Vamandev? Understand? So that's why Bali Maharaj gave his entire kingdom to Vamandev. So this is the pastime of Upendra. Upendra means Vamanadev. Understand? So he resided in the district of Srihatta and was the father of Jagannath Mishra. So you can see Upendra Mishra was the father of Jagannath Mishra, who came to Navadvip to study under the direction of Nilambar Chakravarti. Understand? So this is Mishra means actually high class Brahmin family. So Jagannath Mishra's father was Upendra Mishra. And he came to study under the direction of another Brahmin called Nilambar Chakravarti. This Mishra, Chakravarti, these are all Brahmin names. Now Nilambar actually means Nilambar, in reference to Balram, I think. The Balram, he wears the the blue cloth, understand? And because that reminds him of Krishna, who has blue complexion. And Radharani is called Nilambari. Like Gurudev, one time when I was watching one video, Gurudev was initiating one Mataji, one sister in Murvilumba, I think, long time, 1998. And that time, Gurudev said, your name is Nilambari. Nilambari means Radharani, who wears the blue sari. And Balram, I think, would be Nilambar or Nityananda Prabhu. Both wear blue cloth. So they call Nilambar. Understand? Nilambar is also name of Gurudev told that generally Krishna is called Pitambar. The name for Krishna is Pitambar because he wears yellow garment. And Radharani wears blue garment. Then Gurudev said for deities, this yellow garment should be used for deities, Radha, Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for sometimes you can use the blue garment also for the deities, blue cloth. But he said red and black, what is this going on? He said, why they put black cloth on the deities, So this black actually Gurudev didn't recommend so much. Generally, black, blood red clothes. I think these are Vaishnavas also should not wear the blood red clothes. It is offense to go to the deities, wearing blood red clothes and black clothes. Black apparently I heard that black absorbs all energy. So, anyways, Nilambar Chakravarti, and then settled there after marrying Nilambar Chakravarti's daughter Shachi Devi. So you see that Nilambar Chakravarti's student was Jagannath Mishra. He studied under his father-in-law, and then his father-in-law may have recommended to him, you marry my daughter. And then he married his daughter anyways, because the disciple is like a son only. Shachi Devi gave birth to 8 children, all daughters who died one after another immediately after birth. Yeah, now you see that this Leela is similar to the pastime of Devki, where Devki's 6 consecutive sons were killed by Kamsa. Understand? So here 8 daughters died one after another. Immediately after taking birth. Not that she had a miscarriage. The baby dies like 2 ways. One in the womb of the mother, other one is after taking birth. So this was like that. But these may not be some ordinary girls. These must be some divine potencies of Bhagwan. Understand? If they're taking birth from Shachi Devi's womb, there must be some great energies. So anyways, after her 9th pregnancy, she gave birth to a son who was named Vishwarup. Like this son, Gurudev was telling that this was Mahasankarshan, Mula Sankarshan. This is Guru Tattva actually, non-different from Shri Nityananda Balram. And he was actually very qualified, but he didn't get married. Rather, he took sannyas. Then in 1407 Shaka era, AD 1486, on the full moon evening of the month of Falgun, during the constellation of Simha Lagna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as the son of Shri Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra. Now, this is also wonderful. Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj has written Prema Dhama Stotram. In that, he says, Sindhu Bindu Veda Chandra Shaka Kumbha Purnima Sandra Chandra Koparaga Jata Gaura Chandrama Snanadana Krishna Nama Sangatat Parat Param Prema Dhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. Understand? So, Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj, he wrote this Prema Dhama Stotram, a uniquely excellent treasure of Gaur Lila, imbued with innate beauty of the author's own Gaura Prem. Understand? So, fondly addressing Shri Gauranga as Prema Dhama Deva, the Lord who is the unlimited abode of divine love, eloquently describes his transcendental life and precepts. Understand? So, here in this Prema Dhama Stotram, he explains that Sindhu Bindu Veda Chandra Shaka Kumbha Purnima Sandra Chandra Koparaga Jata Gaura Chandrama. So here he explained that there was actually lunar eclipse, and lunar eclipse type, even the Gurudev was telling that even atheists, they're chanting Krishna Nam, because there may be a collision. The earth, the moon, and the sun may come close to each other, and they might collide against each other, and they might break like earthen pots. Understand? So, to avoid that eventuality, people do great charity. People give charity to the kirtan. Even the atheists were doing Krishnam kirtan. And then what happened? The Muslims, they were imitating. Oh, look, these Hindus, they are saying Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Like this. That is called Namabhas. Understand? This is called Namabhas. And this is very, very important. This Namabhas is also very, very important. Because Jai Namadeya Munivrinda Geya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krititam Anadaradavi Mana Gudritam Nikhilogra Tapa Patali Vilumbasi. If you even disrespectfully chant the holy name, all your offenses and sins will vanish in a moment. So Gurudev was telling this, that you must chant this Krishna Nam when someone is dying in their ears. And even if they cannot chant, you should make them chant. If you cannot chant, you should read and do Kirtan of Mahamantra in their ears. And he said, Nagar Kirtan, you must do Nagar Kirtan. Because there is no way you can purify the people without doing Kirtan. When they hear the Kirtan, then the Kirtan will enter their ears and will purify them. Like, I remember we used to do in New York in 42nd Avenue, Dandi Maharaj, Shipad Dandi Maharaj used to do Kirtan, Tompkins Square Park, and also 25 First Avenue, 26 Second Avenue in New York. In Boston also, the Nagar Kirtan was being done near MIT. Boston, as they call it, Boston Brahmins. It's a very culturally, Boston. There are some learned people there. That's why it's called Boston Brahmins. There's a term in use. Boston is a seat of education, actually, Massachusetts. Very famous, MIT and all. So, anyways, even if you are an unlettered person, but if you know this Hare Krishna mantra, 2 syllables, Krishna or Rama, then that person has apparently known the conclusion of all the Vedas. Because in Vedanta Sutra also, Srila Gurudev was telling that 2 times he has told, Anavrittitu Shabdat, Anavrittitu Shabdat. Means simply by chanting the names of Krishna, one can become free from repetition of birth and death. So this is a conclusion. The most important sutra in Vedanta Sutra is Om Anavrittitu Shabdat, Anavrittitu Shabdat Om. Understand? Apparently one system of uttering Vedanta Sutra, these aphorisms, is start with Om and end with Om. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared in the year 1407 at the time of in Simha Lagna. Simha Lagna, actually, constellation of Simha Lagna, as the son of Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra. After hearing of the birth of, now here Sachi Mata's womb is compared to the milk ocean. Just like the moon rises from the belly of the ocean. Like you see, that you can see on New York, like Atlantic, the sun is rising from the Atlantic. And you can see in Pacific, you go to California or Hawaii, you'll see that the sun is setting in Pacific. Understand? So like Srila Gurudev was telling that the sun may seem to be rising from Atlantic Ocean and setting in the Pacific Ocean, but sun is not the sun of Atlantic or Pacific. So like that, it may appear that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is appearing from the womb of Shachi Devi and he is the son of Shachi Mata, but actually is not the son of Shachi Mata or Jagannath Mishra, but rather he is the father of the whole world. Understand? He is the source of everything. But this is his eternal pastime. He has eternally accepted Shachi Mata as his mother and Shri Jagannath Mishra as his father. Jagannath Mishra is also called Purandar. Purandar is actually means the king or Indra. He's called Purandar. The Indra we have now is called Purandar. Or Shri Krishna is also called Purandar. So anyway, actually Navadvipashtakam, if you study in Giti Gucha, you should try to remember. I think Vishwanath Thakur has written Navadvipashtakam or maybe Rupa Goswami, either one of them. Very beautiful Navadvipashtakam. Suradargi Kaya, Tireti Ramya, Atipunya Maya, Lasantam Ananda Varena Netram, Tamshi Navadvipam Aham Smarami. So Srila Gurudev was telling that there are two types of Ashtakali Leela. Ashtakali Leela means eightfold pastimes, like end of the night pastimes, early morning, pre-noon, noon, afternoon, evening, then night, then midnight, end of the night. The day is divided into 8 parts, and the 8 parts Mahaprabhu performs sweet pastimes in Navadvip Dham, Nimai Pandit. Sachinandan Gaurahari, as is called in Navadvip. He is not called Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. And so the Rupa Goswami has described, I think, and Vishwanath Thakur also has described the Ashtakali Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami, maybe, Govind Lilamrit, other books. There is a description of Ashtakali pastimes of Nimai in Sachinandan Gaurahari, Mahaprabhu in Navadvip Dham. And Ashtakali Leela of Krishna takes place in Vrindavan Dham. So Srila Gurudev said that Ashtakali Leela does not take place in Jagannath Puri and on the bank of Godavari, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the Rasaraj Mahabhav form to Rai Ramananda. So he said Navadvip is the highest place. It is not different from Vrindavan. And Jagannath Puri is also not as elevated as, he said, Navadvip Dham. Understand? Ashtakali Leela takes place. Like the 8 stanzas of Shikshashtakam correspond to 8-fold pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Understand? The first version is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the cleansing of the mirror of the heart. Means our heart is covered by darkness or by dust of ignorance. So like our heart is comparable to the mirror, and Shri Krishna Sankirtan will remove this dust from the mirror of our heart and elevate our consciousness, change our consciousness, remove the coverings of our consciousness. So Srila Bharati Maharaj also used to tell that what are the coverings on the heart? He said there are many coverings. Some coverings can be dusted off by just a cloth, like your your tab or your screen, computer screen. You can just take a soft cloth and we can remove the dust from it. But some coverings are very hard. Understand? Some are very hard, and some are some people's hearts are so covered that it simply takes dynamite or some type of explosive sticks or RDX or something, TNT or something, just to blast those rock-like coverings on the heart of someone. Some people are deeply covered. Understand? So it depends. Not everyone is covered, but Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj used to tell that Indian people especially, he said that they're all Krishna conscious. He said in the core of their heart, but they are covered by this Maya. Understand? But little bit Harinam Sankirtan you do, and the Indians will be supportive. Understand? And others also, you see that Russia, this is the land of Rishis. And why they were doing tapasya there? To get moksha. Moscow means moksha. It's a great land of sages, actually. Understand? The great sage Mangal Rishi was staying in Mongolia. Understand? This Mongol race come from Mangal Rishi, name Mongolia name. Caspian Sea, actually Kashyap Rishi was doing tapasya there. The whole world was Krishna conscious. So it is actually in everyone's blood to be Krishna conscious. It is not something foreign. Understand? Because the whole earth was Krishna conscious once upon a time. Understand? So, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing of the mirror of the heart. Different levels of coverings are there, and some are soft, some are hard coverings, and more. So, Japa cannot remove all the covering, then you have to do loud kirtan. And mercy of the Vaishnavas and Gurus, you have to call out to remove the deep coverings from our heart. So, this Ashtakalila, Nishanta Lila refers to the cleansing of the heart, or rising of the sun in the darkened lives of ours, the rising on the sun on the eastern horizon. That is the first verse of Shikshashtaka. That explains. So Mahaprabhu also has some pastimes in Navadvip going on. At the same time, Radha Krishna are also having some pastimes going on in Vrindavan at the same time. Understand? And the devotees, before starting meditating on the Ashtakalila of Radha Krishna, they better meditate on the Mahaprabhu's Ashtakalila, Gurudev was telling. Because when we remember Mahaprabhu, then Radha Krishna's mercy comes very quickly. And Gurudev was teaching a verse actually to the disciples, close disciples. I think it was in Malaysia. So he called a class of the devotees, and then he was telling them, remember this verse. And then he said, the verse is that na dharmam shrutigana raktam kuruku. Vraja Radha Krishnam pracharo paricharyam ihatanu. Chachi sunum nandishwara pati sutatve guruvaram mukunda preshtatve param ajastrananu smaramana. So in this verse from Manas Shiksha, I think you all try to remember this verse. Gurudev was very particular about devotees remembering the verses. He said you should remember these verses. One time he was on a morning walk, one devotee was there, and one devotee from France, I think Prem Vilas Prabhu or someone, then he asked Prem Vilas Prabhuji, what are you doing, Prem Vilas Prabhuji? He said, oh, I am trying to write books. Then Gurudev said, okay, you tell me in one verse, what is the conclusion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of all the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So he could not tell the verse, but he could tell some English translation. But then Gurudev said, how can you write books if you don't know this? He said, first try to understand what Mahaprabhu's mood is yourself. Then your books will have authority. Then Gurudev was telling, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayastad Dhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita Shrimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartva Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharona Parat. This is the, in one sum and substance of all the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That our worshipable Lord is Vrajanandan Shyam Sundar Krishna. So Gurudev was telling that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving Krishna Prem, he is not giving Gaura Prem. So he is telling us to worship, do Krishna Bhakti, Radha Krishna Bhakti. So he is telling Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas, that there are not one Krishna, there are three Krishnas. The Krishna in Vrindavan is the most complete. Krishna in Mathura is more complete. And in Dwarka is only complete. Understand? And his associates also most complete in Vrindavan, Gurudev was telling. And they are only complete or more complete in Mathura and Dwarka. Like Gurudev was telling that at Prema Sarovar, there is one very wonderful place in Vrindavan that's called Prema Sarovar. Prema Sarovar, one time Radharani was sitting in the lap of Krishna. And one bumblebee came and she wanted to smell the lotus feet of Radharani, her face, because it is smelling like lotuses, more than lotuses. And Krishna told Madhumangal that this bumblebee is troubling Radharani, you drive away this bumblebee. The bumblebee is called Madhusudan. Then Madhumangal drove away with a stick this bumblebee, and this bumblebee went away. Then Madhumangal told, Madhusudan has gone far away, he will not come back. And Radharani fainted in the lap of Krishna. She experienced separation, although she was in the lap of Krishna. She thought Krishna is gone from Braj, he will never come back. Then Gurudev said, what is the meaning of Madhusudan? Madhu means honey. This material enjoyment, sense gratification, attraction, material attraction, this is all like Madhu, and Krishna is the Vasudan, means when it destroys this material attraction, that is Madhusudan, Gurudev was telling. Understand? So, Radharani was feeling separation, although she was in the lap of Krishna. Understand? And Gurudev said that the queens of Dwarka, sometimes they are with Krishna, they are sleeping on the same bed, but Gurudev said that still, um, but still, they feel separation also. Oh, where is Krishna? But it is not at the same high level. They also feel this separation of prema vaichitte. But Gurudev was telling, it is not exactly the same level. The Gopi's prema is higher. So Mahaprabhu told that we have to Vrajendra Tanayas, Tad Dharma Vrindavan. And then we have to, Mahaprabhu told that this Vrindavan Dham is also equally worshipable. Like we discussed this pastime of Vaman Dev, because father of Jagannath Mishra was Upendra. But Vaman Dev, when he asked only 2 steps of land, and first step of land, he covered the whole middle planetary system, Earth planet. The second step, he raised in the sky, second foot. And the toe of his left foot, apparently, broke this thing, a shell of the Brahmanda. Understand? It broke the shell of the Brahmanda, and the Ganges river came. Then that Ganges river was stored by Lord Brahma in his Kamandalu. Brahma stored that in his Kamandalu, the water of this. And then he released only a little bit of that, and it was in the dreadlocks of Lord Shiva. So Ganga is coming from the footbath water of Vamandev. But Gurudev was telling what is Vamandev? Vamandev is the plenary portion of Balaram. From Krishna comes Balaram or Nityananda Prabhu. From Balaram comes first quadruple manifestation, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan. From Mula Sankarshan comes Narayan. From Narayan comes Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Mahasankarshan. From Mahasankarshan comes Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu, Garbhodakasha Vishnu, and his incarnation is Vamandev of Garbhodakasha Vishnu. So Vamandev is, he said, the plenary portion of the plenary portion of the plenary portion of Krishna. And it is the food bath water of that Vamandev is Ganga. But Jamuna is actually Vishakha, or she is the queen of Krishna in Dwarka, Kalindi, or she is Vishakha only. So Gurudev, one time Jiva Goswami was called to Agra. You tell, Gurudev was telling this past time, that you tell that there were big, Akbar I think had called one Sabha, and he was asking that you please tell who's superior, Ganga is superior or Jamuna is superior. And some Panditas who were living on the bank of Ganga said Ganga is superior. And some Pandits who were living on the bank of Jamuna were telling that Jamuna is superior. So they called Jiva Goswami Pad. And Jiva Goswami Pad, he came and he said, I cannot stay out of Braj whole night. I had to come back in the night time to Braj. So they arranged many nice horse carts, like 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers away, new horse cart. So he can quickly come to Agra, give his decision, and then he can go back to Vrindavan. Because he had taken a vow that he will never sleep out of Vrindavan. Even if he goes outside, he'll come back to Vrindavan. So Jiva Goswami is called back. But then Jiva Goswami said that your question is very simple actually. Very, very simple question you're asking. That which is superior? Ganga is superior, Yamuna is superior. I can say that Yamuna is far superior. Yamuna is the queen and Ganga is the maid servant. Understand? Because Ganga is coming from the footbath water of Vamandev, while Vishakha or Kalindi, she is actually daughter of sun god. This Jamuna is far superior. So actually Gurudev was telling that in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, so we are discussing Parikrama Khanda. Shripad Dandi Maharaj must have read Parikrama Khanda. But there is also one Praman Khanda, what Srila Gurudev was quoting. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written 2 parts, Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. And in Praman Khanda, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur apparently giving reference from Ananta Samhita is telling that there was a gopi by the name Viraja in Golak Vrindavan, right? And one time she was spending some time alone in solitary place with Krishna. And because Krishna was alone with this gopi, suddenly Radharani came there. And that gopi Viraja felt so so ashamed of herself that she simply became a river. That Gopi just became a river, Viraja river. So Gurudev was telling that this Ganga is also a Gopi in her original form. But although Ganga is a Gopi and Jamuna is also Gopi, but Jamuna is sweeter because younger sister is always sweeter than the elder sister. So understand, Jamuna is younger sister. But although Yamuna is younger sister and Ganga is elder sister, but generally elder sister is serving the younger sister or younger sister is serving elder sister. Gurudev is telling that younger sister should serve the elder sister. But here Ulta is there, opposite. Ganga is serving Yamuna. Ganga Titirtha Parisavita Pada Padma. So anyways, this Yamuna has seen all the pastimes of Krishna. So Jiva Goswami said that Yamuna is far superior to Ganga. But then what I heard is that because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed so many pastimes on the bank of Ganga, she also became equal with Jamuna. Means now no difference. Understand? Because Jamuna prayed to Krishna that you gave good fortune, you performed so many pastimes on my bank, but my elder sister is hankering to get your association. Okay, Krishna said, I will next time at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will perform so many pastimes on the bank of Ganga. So Mahaprabhu used to always take bath in Ganga, and he will go and pull the legs of the other children who are swimming there. And the Brahmanas will come there to do Achman and doing the Rannik. He will fill his mouth as if they're balloon, and then he will sprinkle that water on their mouths like a syringe. You know, today is Holi, so people are syringes, using the syringes, and so much. Holi re rasiya, aaj braj mein holi re rasiya. Like this, they're singing. But Gurudev said that our mood is seriousness. Today we are not doing any frivolousness. Understand? Today we are like Mahaprabhu was Gambhira. Mahaprabhu was serious personality. So we should also be serious today. Understand? Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So Anup Prabhu is there? Anup is listening. Hare Krishna. Rishikesh Prabhu?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण महाराज.
Do 2-minute kirtan, Mahamantra kirtan or Nitai Gauranga kirtan.
Okay.
Hare
Okay महाराज.
Hare Krishna. Start. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Start, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Gaur Hari 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 Bol. Gaur Hari 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 Bol. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango. Nitai 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 Gaurango. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango. Bhaj Gaurango, kaho Gaurango. Bhaj Gaurango, kaho Gaurango. Laho Gaurangera naam re. Jai jana Gauranga bhaje, সেই তো আমার প্রাণ রে. ভজ গৌরাঙ্গ, কাহো গৌরাঙ্গ. লহো গৌরাঙ্গের নাম রে. নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ, নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ. নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ গৌর হরি. জয় সচিনন্দন, জয় সচিনন্দন, জয় সচিনন্দন গৌর হরি. জয় সচিনন্দন, জয় গৌর হরি. বিষ্ণু প্রিয়া প্রাণধন নদিয়া বিহারী. জয় সচিনন্দন, জয় গৌর হরি. विष्णु प्रिया प्राण धन नदिया बिहारी. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Govinda, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Jaya Radha Govinda, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anyways, without Kirtan, the class is incomplete because Mahaprabhu is Kirtan avatar. Sankirtana ka Pitarav. Like Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur, Shri Gurudev was telling that this Vrindavan Das Thakur is the original Vyasa of Shri Chaitanya Leela. Sripad Dandi Maharaj may also told you that that Vyasa means one who reveals the pastimes of Krishna to the whole world. All the pastimes of Krishna, they are eternal, but Vyasa actually means diameter. That this material world and the spiritual world, like a huge globe or circle, and the longest, the point from one point on the periphery and other point on the periphery, the line that joins these 2 points on the periphery of the circle, which passes to the center of the circle, this is actually called Vyasa or diameter. So this is called diameter, understand? So Vyasa is the one who connects the spiritual world and the material world. Means he brings the message of the spiritual world to the material world. So Vyasa is actually incarnation of Bhagavan. In this particular Manvantara, the Vyasa who has come is actually Krishna Dvaipayan Vyasa. He is called Krishna because he is incarnation of Krishna. Dvaipayan means he was born on the middle of an island in Jamuna. He is the son of Parashar, but he is Krishna's incarnation. In next Kalpa, in next Manvantara, the next Vyasa will be Ashwatthama. So don't hate Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama is a great devotee and also he is a great Brahman. He will take the position of Vyasa. And next particular Manvantara, the Bali Maharaj, who is now living in Sutal planet, he will be the next
Indra, Maharaj, I think Indra.
He will be the next Indra, understand? He will be the next Indra, right? So, as these are all positions, Indra is a position, Vyasa is a position, like this, understand? So, in Kali Yuga, Shri Vyasa Maharshi appeared as Vrindavan Das Thakur. Who was the mother of Vrindavan Das Thakur? Her name was Narayani. She was the niece of Shri Shivas Thakur, understand? So Shri Shivas Thakur, his niece, I think his brother's daughter, once she sucked the toe of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or drank his Charanamrit also. So, blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she conceived a very high class baby, and that is Vrindavan Das Thakur. Nowhere his father's name is mentioned because his father may not be a devotee or mother may be a higher level devotee. He has not mentioned the name of his father. He has not mention anything about his father, but his mother's name is mentioned, that he is the son of Narayan. And she was a great devotee. And it's natural that, if mother is a great devotee, or son or daughter will also be a great devotee. Because mother spends a lot of time with the son, and generally the children will be great devotees. If you see any exalted devotee, then you should know for sure that the parents, or especially mother, must be a great devotee. Even if the father is not devotee, mother must be a great devotee. Like in Gurudev's case also, Gurudev said, my mother and father, they were Sri Vaishnavas. My mother was very pious, and my father also very pious, he said. So Gurudev said, from my childhood, I got associated with my mother and father. They are my first guru. Mother is the first guru, actually, generally speaking. So here you see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. After hearing the birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, learned scholars and brahmanas, bringing many gifts, came to see the newly born baby. Understand? So generally, Mahaprabhu came, and generally that is the system in India. They bring many gifts for the child. Nilambar Chakravarti, who was a great astrologer, immediately prepared a horoscope, and by astrological calculation, he saw that the child was a great personality. Now, why people bought the gifts? Because the indwelling super soul guided them. They were asking a question to Gurudev that, Gurudev, sometimes spiritual thoughts come in my mind. In morning walk, in Govardhan, I think. They asked Gurudev that sometimes spiritual thoughts come in my mind. And sometimes material thoughts come in my mind. So what should I think when the spiritual thought comes? That I should do japa, maybe I should stay awake tonight, maybe I should read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I should read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, maybe I should memorize a few shlokas, maybe I should do Govardhan Parikrama. Then all these thoughts will come. Gurudev said, any spiritual thought is coming in your mind, it is the mercy of your Gurudev. You should not think by mind, but it is Gurudev who is inspiring them. And if any thoughts of sense enjoyment are coming, they are due to your previous samskaras. Because we have simply enjoyed for so many lifetimes that these samskaras are in the core of our heart. So Nilambar Chakravarti was a great astrologer, understand. Our Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati Prabhupada also great astrologer. And Shishir Ghosh, I think. Ghosh, I think. He kept a seat ready for Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati in the University of Calcutta in the Department of Mathematics, Astronomy and Astrology. He said, but Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati said, no, I don't want to chair the head of the Department of Mathematics and Astrology and Astronomy. I have not come to this world to count the constellations and stars in the sky like NASA scientist or ISRO scientist. Understand? I have come to this world to deliver the people from this material world. So anyways, astrology is a very important science. And he saw that child was a great personality. So this chapter describes the symptoms of this great personality. Sa prasidatu chaitanya devo yasya prasadata tallila varnane yogya sadhya syat adhamopi ayan. I wish the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even one who is fallen can describe the pastimes of the Lord. Actually, this is the thing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even a fallen person becomes qualified to chant the holy name. Like Gurudev he was telling that, and Swami Maharaj also was telling that, the Gurudev was making a point. He said, if anyone in his class, that anyone who is Indian, whether he's eating beef of a cow flesh, he's breaking all the regular principles, drinking liquor, and engaging in all sinful activities. But just because he is born in India and he has Indian person, just because he is born in India or Hindu, they allow him in Jagannath temple. He may be eating beef, they don't know. But these Western devotees, they are Shikha, Kantimala, wearing Indian outfit, dhoti and sari, and chanting Hare Krishna mantra, not taking even onion garlic. They are not allowed. He said, what is this? He said, Jagannath will not be pleased by this. They should be allowed. Gurudev's mood was like that. Gurudev said, what crime they have committed? Anyone who is Indian but even eating beef, they are allowed. Just because he's rubber stamped as Hindu. But these devotees who are following Vedic culture and not harming anyone, completely non-violent and believing in Krishna, chanting his names, why they are not allowed? Gurudev was making this point. But anyway, Gurudev never protested. He said, Jagannath is very merciful, don't worry about it. And then, Gurudev said that not even a bird can enter there without, there's so much security there. He said, Gurudev many times was also stopped at the gate because his eyes were very blue. So they used to say, you're not Indian. Then Gurudev used to talk to my Panda, he said. Panda used to tell that, no, he's a great spiritual master. He's from Bihar, born in Bihar, living in Mathura, preaching all over the world. He's 100% Indian, Sometimes they used to stop Gurudev also. Many times, many Kashmir and Jammu Kashmir devotees also very fair. They are not allowed. Many Manipuri devotees sometimes suspected. They have to show their ID. They are suspected to be Chinese, The gate, they are not allowed. Understand? So anyways, Mahaprabhu is very compassionate to the fallen person. So that was actually Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. He actually established Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra deity everywhere. Because that is not actually our mood so much to Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra worship. Gurudev was telling. Our worshipable deity is actually Radha Krishna and Gaur Gadadhar, Gaur Nityananda. Even more than Gaur Nityananda, Gaur Gadadhar. Understand? Because in conjugal melo, there is great importance for the worship of Radha Krishna or Gaur Gadadhar. Understand? Gaur Gadadhar is same as Radha Krishna. But Gurudev was telling that how should, I forgot that, Gurudev was telling, na dharmam, shrutikana niraktam kilakuru. That don't engage in religious activities to elevate yourself to the heavenly planets, dharma. So Gurudev was telling karma is also 3 types. Karma means the prescribed duties, like taking care of mother, father, your wife, children. That is karma. Doing nothing, sitting idle, that is akarma. And Gurudev was telling vikarma means doing the activities which are not recommended in the Vedas. Means sinful activities, killing other animals, illicit sex and all those things. They are vikarma. So karma will take you to the heavenly planet. Vikarma will take you to hell. But Gurudev was telling that we should not engage in any dharma or adharma, but we should simply engage in the service of Radha Krishna. Na dharmam, shrutigana niraktam kiru. In Shrutis, the Vedas, so many things have been told. This duty, that duty. But he said, only duty we should follow was to serve Sir Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna prachura paricharya mihatanu. But then he said, how we should see Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, that is Krishna with the mood of Radharani. So shall we stop worshipping Krishna and start worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He said, no, you don't do that. You worship Krishna only. You see Sachidanand Gaurari as your Guru. Mukunda Preshtatya Paramajasranus Paramana. So we are doing bhakti, but under the guidance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You should see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as your Guru. He is Mukunda Preshta, Krishna Preshta. He is very dear to Mukunda or Krishna. That is what we should see. Because one Gurudev was telling one philosophy which came in Apasampradaya in India called Gauranga Nagrivad. They started thinking that Gauranga is my beloved husband, or my lover, and I am her female lover, and I am her beloved, his beloved, and I will do dance with Gauranga and I will have marriage with Gauranga, something like this. This type of misconception came. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gurudev was making a point, he cannot be worshipped in melo, any other melo than mood of servitorship. Means Mahaprabhu, only Dasya Prem is there for Mahaprabhu. And when your Dasya Prem to Mahaprabhu will mature, automatically conjugal melo for Radha Krishna will arise in your heart. But don't develop this mood of Gauranga Nagriva, that Gauranga is my consort. Understand? So we should see Gauranga Mahaprabhu as the immaculate spiritual master. So he has come for the fallen souls. So Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj says that to describe Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Shri Krishna, one needs supernatural power, which is the grace and mercy of the Lord. Without this grace and mercy, one cannot compose transcendental literature. By dint of the grace of the Lord, however, even one who is unfit for a literary career can describe wonderful transcendental topics. Understand? Like Srila Gurudev, he was telling about Jaiva Dharma. He said, my books, that distribution of my books, that how there is one German Didi living in Vrindavan, her name is Bakula Didi, my god sister. She was giving interview about Gurudev's pastimes, and she was actually a nurse and in Germany, and she has to take care of many terminally ill patients. She saw many deaths in the hospital. She turned to become a naturopath. Then she came to Gurudev and accepted Gurudev as a spiritual master. So she once told that once Gurudev went to Bangalore, Sripad Dandi Maharaj took him to Bangalore, invited him to Bangalore. So Gurudev came to Bangalore in 2005, 2007, 2009. So when Gurudev was in Bangalore, she had come from International Book Fair in Delhi. In Pragati Maidan in Delhi, they had International Book Fair. And our Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti Trust, especially our Gaudiya Vedanta publication, would have a bookstall there. Then she gave a report and showed the photographs to Gurudev of that event, how people were buying his books. And Gurudev was so happy, and he saw the pictures very attentively with great interest, and finally he said, big thank you, like this. She said, my life was successful when I heard a big thank you from you. Because Gurudev knew that those who read his books, their lives will be transformed. And that is very, very important. Gurudev said, my lecture will evaporate in the air, but my books will stay. And Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj also, even if he sometimes were exhibiting the pastime of being sick, but when the report of book distribution came, he would very attentively hear how his books are going. So they were distributing the books at airport and everywhere. And they had a style actually. Sometimes devotees distributing books at the airport, and teachings of Lord Chaitanya and many books they were distributing, Bhagavad Gita. They were disguising themselves with a wig because the shaven head they don't want to show. They used to wear three-piece suit. So then they asked Gurudev in a morning walk that, do you want your brahmacharis and sannyasis sometimes also go in camouflage, like, in karmi dress to distribute books? Then Gurudev said, no. He said, I don't want that. He said, never hide your identity. I want my brahmacharis and sannyasis never to give up the devotional attire. Understand? They should always be dhotis, kurtas, and sannyasi should be with sannyas outfit. And also Mataji should also be in sari or Indian dress. He said, I don't want them to wear Western clothes just for, I don't want that type of preaching, Gurudev was telling. I don't want that type of preaching. I want straightforward preaching. They should purchase the book, but we should always be in our dress. Then they told Gurudev that at airport they sometimes check. Then Gurudev said, no problem, you can wear a long coat, this and that. But inside always you should have devotional clothes. He said, never give up. And Gurudev himself, even he went to China, he did not change his dress. Even Singapore also, he didn't have to change the dress. Even once, I think, remember that Singapore airport, he had to wait for a long time. But Gurudev faced sometimes problems, but he never changed his dress. He said, I had taken a vow at the time of sannyas, I will never exchange my dress for any other dress. He said, not that outside you are wearing dhoti, inside you are again in trousers. No, he said, no, not that. Always 24 hours in devotional outfit. Then someone asked Gurudev, what is the significance of this saffron cloth? Then he said, this cloth has some power to keep you celibate, helps you to remove desire for sense gratification. Now, first he told that if anyone is wearing this saffron cloth and engaging in sense gratification, he will be caught. People will catch him and beat him to pulp. Understand? Hey, being a sadhu, how you are engaging in sense gratification. Understand? Like, for example, if anyone can anyone go to a movie with this type of dress? Can he go to the theater and watch a movie? No possible, because people in India, if sadhu will come to watch a movie, they will look at the screen less, they will look at the sadhu more. And someone may come and slap him also. Hey, you're sadhu, how come you come to this movie, frivolous movie? So Gurudev said, people will catch you. So that's why Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he said, everyone should wear saffron clothes. The second thing is that this saffron clothes has the power to help you remain celibate. And also Gurudev told that previously the saffron clothes were not dyed with chemical dye which we have today. Now remember in Vrindavan we go to Banke Bihari, and the intersection of Banke Bihari and the Dauji temple, there is one shop near Balram temple, and there we purchase for 100 rupees some color and we use that. But Gurudev said previously there was a geru. Geru means like a mineral, natural found color, red color. It was more potent. In fact, the land in Hesarkatta Mutt, Shripad Dandi Maharaj Mutt, is all red. All red soil there. Once I dyed my clothes with the same soil, I just dipped it, and then Shripad Bhakti-Vedanta Tirtha Maharaj came and he said, "Oh, now you're looking like a real sadhu," he said. Because I had dyed with a natural mud color, Anyways, but now we are using chemical dyes. But Mahaprabhu, Ujjvala Varana Gaura Vara Deham, Vilasati Niravati Bhava Videham. So Mahaprabhu was wearing saffron clothes. Madhvacharya also wearing saffron clothes. Ramanujacharya also wearing saffron clothes. Understand? So all sannyasis in India are wearing saffron clothes. Because it is a sign of renunciation, and that color helps one's spiritual consciousness and removes the material desires. Understand? So here, description of Krishna is possible for one who's empowered. So here, Srila Swami Maharaj is telling a very important point. Who can describe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes? Who can describe Radha Krishna's pastimes? So actually, you remember when Swami Maharaj wrote Bhagavatam in India, when he joined Keshavji Gaudiya Math, Radha Damodar Courtyard, he had already writing his first canto of Bhagavatam. So in the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, he was telling that Tadvag Visargo Janatag Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokam Abhaddhavatiyati Namani Anantasya Yashwankitani Shrunuvanti Gayanti Grunanti Sadhava. That even if the Krishna's pastimes are not described in the perfect language, even if there are some grammatical errors, spelling mistakes in his writing, still sadhus will relish those pastimes. But if any newspaper article or mundane article is written even in the perfect Sanskrit grammar or English grammar and ornamental English, still people will not be attracted to that. So pastimes are divine. So Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartan. This was a very famous verse. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj always would tell that. He said that so much preaching is happening all over the world. He said, this is not my potency. This is Krishna's, my Guru Maharaj mercy, my Sannyas Guru Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj mercy, that by their mercy I am empowered. He said, I am just like a puppet and they are making me dance and I am dancing. I am dancing, he said. He never took the credit for the preaching. He always gave the credit to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So unless endowed with the mercy of Lord, one cannot preach the Lord's name, fame, quality, form and entourage and so on. It should be concluded therefore that the descriptions of Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami manifest specific mercy bestowed upon the author. Although he thought of himself as the most fallen, we should not consider him fallen because he described himself as such. Now this is exactly the point. Once I was singing Mangalarti in Ranganath Gaudiya Math, and I sang 2 lines. Abhaga Keshava Kare Nama Sankirtana Shri Kesha Verdasa Kare Nama Sankirtana. So Shripad Dandi Maharaj pointed to me one thing. He said, Maharaj, you should never say this line, Abhaga Keshava Kare Nama Sankirtana. Out of great humility, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj has written so, that I am abhaga, I am unfortunate. But we, as the grand disciples of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, we should replace that line by Shri Keshavira Dasa. The servants of Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj are singing. Like Gurudev told a very nice incident about Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. In Devananda Gaudiya Math, they are making a staircase where the pujari will go to the altar. So pujari will go to the altar. So there was an altar and there was a staircase. So 3 steps were made. 3 steps were made. So there were two personalities there, and three persons: Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Muni Maharaj. So I think that time he had not taken sannyas, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Muni Maharaj. He took sannyas with Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. So they three were there, and Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj said that the first step should be colored blue. The second step should be colored yellow. And third step, he said something like green. Understand? He said third step something like green color. Then they asked, why you want these colors? Gurudev always asked many questions. Gurudev was such a personality that he used to ask so many questions. To his Gurudev, to any sadhu who came, his Gurudev's godmother came, his god uncles came, Gurudev would ask so many questions. They would say, why are you asking so many questions? Gurudev was always with questions. Gurudev said that you should always ask questions. He said asking question is sign of intelligence and showing you are interested. If you want to advance, he said you should learn to ask questions. Gurudev used to say. Like also in the morning walk, Gurudev used to always encourage the devotees to ask some good questions. Because through these questions, great Siddhanta is revealed. Understand? And the treasure in the heart of the Acharyas comes out. So Srila Gurudev asked why this is the blue color, first step. Then Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj said that this step represents the devotees who are attached to Krishna. Because Krishna is blue. Then he said, what about the second step? Then he said, this second step, yellow step, represents the devotees who are attached to Radharani. Then he said, what is the third step? Why should be colored green? Then he actually, he choked actually. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj's throat choked actually. Because it was his Manjari Sarup, that dress he was wearing, apparently. Understand? So anyways, so like this, he was giving the hint of his Siddha Swarupa, his eternal nature, as the Manjari, Vinod Manjari. Understand? Anyway, these are very elevated topics, and but Gurudev was telling this. We should not consider him fallen because he described himself as such. Like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, you can see that he was great devotee of Nityananda Prabhu, and he has glorified Nityananda Prabhu very much. He has glorified Nityananda Prabhu so much. But actually what happened? His brother once disrespected Nityananda Prabhu. And then he also left his house and he came to Vrindavan by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu came in his dream and told him to go to Vrindavan. And there he got the shelter of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Gopinath. These are the three deities installed by three acharyas. Rupa Goswami's deity, Sanatana Goswami's deity, Madhu Pandit's deity. Understand? So there is Sambandha Prayojan, Abhideya Prayojan deities of Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he was, in Chaitanya Chaitamrita says that all this is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is Ananga Manjari, who is serving Krishna in all the melos. Only by his mercy I have come here. Otherwise I am what? I am actually I am nothing but a worm in stool. He is telling like. If Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is describing himself as a worm in stool, shall we think that he is a worm in stool? Actually, we should never and never think that he is a worm in stool. It will be a great offense to think that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a worm in stool. Understand? But he is actually very, very great personality. So here, the second verse says, Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Chandra Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Jai Nityananda. So Jai Jai means all glories. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we say Jai Jai. Like when Jai Dhani is given, we should say Jai. Means if when we say Jai, then we'll be able to have Jai over Maya. Otherwise, Maya will conquer us. Maya will attack us. Understand? So in order to become free from Maya, we should give Jai to the spiritual master. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Biharji ki Jai. So what does this mean? Gandharvika means Radharani, who's very, very expert in, understand? She is very expert in singing, dancing, the art of singing and dancing. That is actually called Gandharvika. Our worshipable deity is Gandharvika Giridhari. And actually you can see, Gurudev was telling that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave Gira Shila to Raghunath Das Goswami. And he gave Giraj Shila to Raghunath Das Goswami. How he was worshipping Giraj? Oh, he was sometimes keeping Giraj. He was sometimes keeping his.
Back here, something happened. You got disconnected.
Yeah.
Now you are fine.
Yeah, sometimes he used to keep. Yes, yes.
But you need to unmute the phone.
Yeah. So Giraj sometimes used to keep Giraj on his eyelids.
To unmute.
Unmute, okay. So sometimes he used to keep the Giraj Shila on his. Hare Krishna. Okay, okay. Sorry. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol 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 Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari 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 Bol Hare Krishna. So you can see that Raghunath Das Goswami sometimes used to keep Gira Shila on his head, sometimes in his eyes, sometimes he used to embrace on his chest. So that is how Gurudev said we should worship the deity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this Gira Shila to our Raghunath Das Goswami. And Srila Gurudev said that he is our Prayojana Acharya. Understand? He is teaching us how to be a Rupanuga Vaishnava. So here, all glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Advaita Chandra. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Now, we must give glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Srila Gurudev was actually quoting from Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Pa's very wonderful book, Chaitanya Chandramrut. And that verse he was telling that Ko janati Radha Pranay Mahima. So he was telling that that who would have known the glories of the holy name of Krishna or the glories of Radha Kunda without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's telling in Prabhupada Saraswati Pad in Chaitanya Chandramrut, is very wonderful book. Autirne Gaura Chandre Vistirne Prema Sagare Yena Majjanti Te Mahanartha Sagar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought this great love of Krishna, and those who don't take advantage of this great love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is brought, the treasure of love, then they will swim in the ocean of anarthas. Understand? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told us the glories of the holy name, glories of Radha Krishna, everything to us. And Advaita Acharya, all glories to Advaita Acharya, because Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu. By his entities, by his prayers only, he brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he worshipped Shaligram Shila with Tulsi and Ganges water. Srila Gurudev said that Krishna will never accept any of your worship unless you worship with Tulsi leaves. Tulsidala matrina jalasya chulukenama vikaditam samatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Bhagwan is Bhaktavatsal. If you offer him with Tulsi, then Krishna is very pleased. So Advaita Acharya is great devotee. He brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. Then all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu because he is Balaram. And Gurudev was telling about Nityananda Prabhu that how Lakshman, he had to do so many duties he never wanted to do, like dropping Sita to the forest permanently and arranging like wooden fire so that Sita will be tested for integrity and chastity and all that. So Lakshman was fed up of that. He said, never and never I'm going to become younger brother of Ramchandra because he will give me such harsh duties. I will always come as his elder brother. And he came as Balaram and also as Nityananda. Both were older than Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Gadadhara, Jai Srinivas, Jai Jai Mukunda Vasudeva, Jai Haridas. Now, all glories to Gadadhar Pandit. Now, who can describe Gadadhar Pandit? Gadadhar Pandit is son of Madhav Mishra, is Radharani herself has come as Gadadhar. That's why our worshipable deity is Gadai Gauranga. Gaur Gadadhar. Gaura Gadadhara is our worshipable deity. So we are worshipping Gaur Gadadhar. Gaur Gadadhar worship apparently higher than even Radha Krishna worship. Actually, only Paramahamsas like Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, or Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, they can worship Gaur Gadadhar. Understand? We are not capable. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not come alone. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yadnai Sankirtana Prayar Janti Sumedasa. So there is actually in Bhagavatam, there is a ninth Yogendra by the name Karabhajan. There are 9 Yogendras. They are the sons of 9 celibate sons of great yogi sons of Rishabdev Maharaj. Rishabdev Maharaj. Previously, this India was known as Ajnab Varsha. But after the son of Rishabdev, the eldest son of Rishabdev Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, this India is called Bharat Varsha. Understand? So, Mahaprabhu is the full incarnation of the Lord. So, Krishna Varnam, in the age of Kali, the golden Lord upon whose lips the name of Krishna always remains. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden in complexion. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj in Krema Dhama Stotra he writes, Swarna Koti Darpana Bhadeha Varna Gauravam Padma Pari Chata Gandha Vanditanga Sauravam Koti Kama Murchitangri Ruparasarangaram Premadama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. Gold is there. Right? Your South Africa has so many gold mines. Understand? And Dubai became very rich, importing all the gold from South Africa and processing it. Understand? But the gold, unfortunately, I have seen gold as fragrance. Gold has no fragrance. But Mahaprabhu is more radiant than gold, million times more radiant than gold. And his body is also million times more fragrant than Parijat flowers, the flowers of the desire tree or the heavenly tree, wish-fulfilling tree. So Mahaprabhu is so glorious. He has this beauty of Radharani. So, like Rai Ramanda saw Rasaraj Mahabhav. What is Rasaraj? Krishna is Rasaraj, emporium of all mellows. And Mahabhav is Radharani Mahabhava Swarupa, the embodiment of Madanakya Mahabhav. And he saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared and he saw instead of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. He saw Radha Krishna. Wonderful Radha Krishna. And he told Mahaprabhu that I am seeing your complexion blue hair, radiant like molten gold like Radharani, but also some bluish tinge is still there because he is Krishna only with the mood of Radharani. Understand? So like this, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya. And his lips always utter the name Krishna. Krishna 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 Nama Kirtanam Rama Rama Gana Ramya Divya Chanda Nartanam Yatra Tatra Krishna Nama Danaloka Nistaram Prema Dama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everywhere he chanted Krishna Nam. He actually came to the world to distribute Krishna Nam. Krishna Nama Dana Janya Panchatattva Katmakam Sangha Divya Parshadastra Vaibhava Tarakam. Distributed the name of Krishna. He chanted the name of Krishna and distributed that name of Krishna. He said, if you want to love me, then chant the Krishna Krishna. Like Gurudev was telling that, who was the Guru of Vishnu Priya? He said. He asked a question, who was the Guru of Vishnu Priya? She said Guru of Vishnu Priya was Mahaprabhu himself. He was married to her and he took initiation from Ishwar Puripad and then he started chanting Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna all the time. She was hearing the holy name from him all the time and so he became her Guru. Gurudev said that there was actually one Ramananda. He was a great devotee of Rama, born in Brahmin family, living in Kashi, I think. He was in Ramanuja Sampradaya. And Ramananda, one time, one person came to him and said, I want to take initiation from you. But Ramananda thought that he's a first-class Mayavadi. So why should I initiate him, So that person was very much interested in taking initiation anyway. So what happened, he knew that Ramananda will go in the dark to take a bath in the Ganges early in the morning, like 4 o'clock or something. So he lied on the way. He laid his body on the way and he dug a small hole on the road and he slept in that hole. So Ramananda stumbled upon that hole, his foot fell in that hole and it touched the body of that particular person who was sleeping in that hole. So that person, he told, anyone, if unknowingly your foot will hit someone's body, then you'll say Ram, 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 Krishna, Krishna. Apologize to that person because Paramatma is in everyone's body. We should never kick anyone or unknowingly also we should not touch anyone by one's foot. So he said, Ram, 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 Ram. He said, who are you? Then he said, I'm your disciple. He said, you my disciple? Who are you? He said, yes, I'm your disciple. I said, I initiated you? He said, yes, just now you initiated me. He said, how? You said Ram, 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 Ram. Oh. So Gurudev was telling that if simply unknowingly you are hearing Gurudev saying Ram, 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 Ram and you hear that name, you are considered initiated. What to speak of Vishnu Priya, who all the time used to hear so much Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu. Understand? So actually, it was Vishnu Priya's Guru was Mahaprabhu himself. She was chanting in separation of Mahaprabhu, 2 lakh holy name. 1 grain she used to take deep in her tears and keep down. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Cook that rice, offer to Mahaprabhu Krishna, offer to her mother-in-law, and take that rice, whatever remaining, and subsist. What a great devotee she was, Vishnu Priya. So, he appears in the company of his expansions, portions, weapons, and associates. So, Mahaprabhu is never alone. Gaurangera Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kori Mane Sejaye Vrajendra Shutapash. Those who accept that eternal associates of Mahaprabhu are actually the eternal associates of Krishna also, then he will go to Gaura Purnima. Those who are very intelligent will worship him through the sacrifice of congregational glorification. Now it is not ordinary thing. This is actually all of you who are practicing Krishna consciousness are very glorious, I think. No one is an ordinary person. No ordinary person will be attracted to this Krishna consciousness moment. Like Bhakti-Vedanta Maharaj was telling on a morning walk. He said, we are telling them, why you are working so hard in industries, shop floor, in a steel factory where the temperatures are hellish, or baking your bag, construction job. Come join ISKCON, join Gaudiya Math, and join our Hare Krishna movement. We'll give you clothes, we'll give you prasadam, sumptuous prasadam, 2 times, 3 times, as much as you can eat. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That's all you have to do. Sing, dance, take prasad. That's it. No other thing. That's all you have to do. He said, still they are not coming because they are so addicted to tea, meat, fish, eggs. They cannot give up. And they feel as if it is the end of the world if they have to chant Hare Krishna. No taste. Understand? So you see that they don't want to take this medicine of the chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But this is the greatest medicine, sweetest medicine. Like this. Like there was one devotee, I think Australian devotee, and he was living in India. So I think Bhubaneswar. There is Dandabhanga River. You know Dandabhanga River? If you come to Puri, you might visit that place. I think there is ISKCON has a temple there. And Sachinandan Prabhu, the disciple of Srila Gaura Maharaj, was living there. See, when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he had one Ekadanda. Keshav Bharati had given him one bamboo staff. Nityananda Prabhu, he gave that bamboo, this danda to Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu took it and he broke it into 3 pieces. and offered in that river. That river where he made the bamboo stick of sannyas danda of Mahaprabhu, broke in 3 pieces and offered to that river. That river is called Dandabanga river. So there's a temple of Gaura Govind Maharaj, Srila Gaura Govind Maharaj. So that devotee was living in Dandabanga river, but his mind was very unsteady and he felt that he has committed some Vaishnava aparadh. So he went to some great sadhu, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bodhan Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev's very bosom sannyas Guru, Gurudev's Siksha Guru, Param Gurudev's god brother. So Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. And he told Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, I think I have committed a Vaishnava aparadh. He said, no. He looked at his face and like a doctor, he told, no, you have not committed Vaishnava aparadh, you have committed Nam aparadh. You are chanting the holy name inattentively, he said. Chant attentively, everything will be okay. Like this means the Acharya, he knows everything. That is the need of an Acharya, because many people they tell that, oh, there is no need of a guru. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj is our guru and we'll read his books and that's it. We will understand everything from his books. But Srila Gurudev, he said one thing, that how will you know that what you understood from Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj books is correct or not? Means who will double check your understanding? Because you may misunderstand something. Still you require guru. Understand? So he was telling that some people, they have become Ritviks. He said Ritviks, is not a correct thing. It's actually only one trick to control people, he said. Ritvik philosophy is not a correct philosophy. It is only, he was telling that some people fell down and they still want to control other people. So they said, no, there is no living guru. Swami Maharaj is your guru, and still they could not control the disciples directly because they fell down. So they started controlling the devotees indirectly through Prabhupada's books. Understand? So that is not what it is. You need a living guru always, and you have to approach. Gurudev said, even a Madhyamadhikari. He said, even if you serve a Madhyamadhikari, you will make advancement. Even if you don't get an Uttamadhikari, still a Madhyamadhikari, you should regard that Madhyamadhikari as representative of Krishna and render service to him, he said. And you will make progress. But you must have a guru, he said. Even Madhyam is fine, he said. So, this prediction contains much information about Mahaprabhu Avatar. The words Krishna Varnam indicates that the 2 syllables, the Krishna, are constantly being glorified by the Lord. That is, through Kirtan is always instructing the world in Krishna consciousness. Like Gurudev was telling one very nice thing, that there are many definitions of the holy name, but who has given the best definition of the holy name? Rupa Goswami. Tunde Tandavini Ratam Mitanate Tundavali Labde Karana Kroda Kadamini Khatayate Karana Budebhya Spruha Cheto Prangana Sanginim Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kruti No Jane Janita Kiyat Bir Amrutahi Krishnati Varnatve. The Krishna, the holy name, these holy names of Sri Krishna, so sweet. When we chant the holy name of Krishna, it begins to dance in our mouth. And we desire many, many mouths. We say, oh, why you Krishna give me one mouth? Let me have many mouths. And when that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the quarter of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind. And therefore all the senses become inert. Actually, when Haridas Thakur heard this shloka from Rupa Goswami, he began to jump and laugh and chant, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. And this shloka is also Gauravani. Like many people chant the pranam mantra of Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Dhamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtadeshwari. But Gurudev said, what is Gauravani? This is Gauravani. Karane Tunde Tandavini Ratam Vitade Tundavari Labde Karana Kuroda Kadamini Ghatayate Karana Budebhya Spruha Cheto Prangana Sanginim Vijayate. I do not know how much nectar the 2 syllables Krishna have produced. So much nectar in Krishna now. Sweetest of the sweet nectar. Understand? So that's why Krishna Varanam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yadne Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. Very intelligent persons, those are joining the Krishna consciousness, they are very intelligent. So the word Sangopangastra Parshadam refers to Lord's associates, his angas or bodies. They are Nityananda Prabhu and Advait Prabhu, who are different forms of the Lord. So Srila Gurudev was telling that this Advaita Acharya is also Prabhu, and Nityananda is also Prabhu, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. Nityananda is Balram and Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu or Sadashiv. Both are Vishnu Tattva. So their appearance days, we fasted like Ekadashi. And today also we are doing like Ekadashi fasting. Till evening, we are not taking anything or maybe taking something, some fruit or not actually recommended, but still can take some water if you are very much thirsty or lemonade with jaggery. Dandi Maharaj has liquid bellam, liquid jaggery, very, very pure actually, no contamination. So some lemonade can be taken if you are feeling too exhausted, understand? So, they are his portions. His upangas or minor limbs are the Lord's devotees like Srivas Pandit, who have taken shelter of him. Now, Srivas Pandit is not ordinary person. Srivas Pandit is actually is Narada Muni. Narada Muni bajaya bina radhika ramana name. Narada Muni is a pure devotee. And Srila Gurudev said that he has come as Madhumangal in Krishna's pastimes. Madhumangal is actually the source of even Narad. So same Narad or Madhumangal has come as Srivas Pandit. His astra or weapon is the holy name and his parshadas. So no other weapon like the holy name. Now you see that the war is going on everywhere. India, Pakistan war, this war, Afghanistan, there was so much bombing was going on, this, that. And Iran, Iraq war, very famous. And so many weapons released in these wars. Nuclear weapons also sometimes released, biological weapons, thermal weapons, neutron bombs. But he says no weapon can remove the anarthas of the jiva. No weapon can remove the false ego of the jiva, that I am the proprietor of everything I see. But the only weapon that can remove the false ego of the jiva is the Harinam. Understand? So Srila Gurudev gave us the Harinam. If we keep on chanting this, our false ego that I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor of everything will go away and we'll realize Krishna is the proprietor, Guru is the proprietor, I am his servant. This Dasa mood will come, mood of servitorship will come. Srila Gurudev was telling that, you see Hanuman, he said Hanuman is always serving Ram. But the Dasas in Braja, like Raktak and Patrak, they can take Krishna in the lap, they can kiss Krishna, they can take Krishna in the lap, they can keep Krishna on his shoulder. Sometimes Krishna will take shelter of their feet, shade of their feet and sit underneath them. So like this. And sometimes they toss him in the air also, little baby, in India, they toss him in the air like this, like this. And they catch. And the baby sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, afraid. But Gurudev said, Hanuman, can he toss Ram like this in the sky? Ram said, oh, I may die. Ram will be so scared. So Hanuman will never toss Ram or Lakshman in the sky like the servants in Braja do to Krishna, baby Krishna. So babies, Krishna's servants are far more fortunate, millions and million times fortunate than Hanuman. Understand? Both are servants. So Gurudev telling in Braja, there is a very special rasa. Understand? And Mahaprabhu also served in Dasya rasa like this. But the holy name can bestow even the service of Krishna upon us. And his Parshadas means associates, are his energies like Gadadhar, Sarup Damodar, Ramananda, Sadhana Rupa. So Gurudev is telling that generally people worship Gaur Nitai, and that is fine because they are very merciful. By their mercy will get Vrindavan Dham and everything. But he said the Gadadhar, Gaur Gadadhar worship, higher, very high worship. And actually he said our worshipable deities are Gaur Gadadhar, actually. For those who are doing Raganuga Bhajan, especially aspiring for Gopi Bhav. Gaur Gadadhar worship or Radha Krishna Gaur Gadadhar. Means Gaur Vishnu Priya worship is fine. In Navadip, Mayapur, Yogapit, you see Gaur Vishnu Priya, Lakshmi Priya deities. And they have prominence there, Gaur Vishnu Priya, because that is where Mahaprabhu used to live with Gaur Vishnu Priya. But still, Gurudev said compared to worship of Gaur Vishnu Priya, the Gaur Gadadhar worship is higher. Sarup Damodar is Lalita Sakhi, Ramandara is Vishakha Sakhi. And Sanatan and Rupa, they are actually Lavang Manjari and Rupa Manjari. Srila Gurudev is telling that Rupa Goswami, He was one time at Terkadam and Sanatana Goswami came to meet him. And he thought, I have not given anything to Sanatan. He is my elder brother and guru. He wanted to offer some sweet rice or some nice eatable prasadam to Sanatan, but he had nothing to cook. And he had no time to cook also because he was so busy. One girl came and she brought milk and rice and sugar, and she said, Baba, cook some sweet rice, offer to your deity of Gopal deity or Narayan deity of Shaligram, and then take this prasadam or Giraj and take prasadam. But they were too busy talking with each other, discussing Harikatha. So she came again and she brought some wood. She said, Baba, don't worry, I will cook. And she put the firewood there, the fuel, and no matchstick that time. So she just simply, she blew by her mouth and that wood caught fire and she cooked such nice kheer. Then she gave to both of them, they offered to Krishna and then they took it. And then eating that kheer, Sanatana Goswami said, this kheer is out of this world. Did you desire to offer me something? Then Rupa Goswami said, yes, I wanted to offer you some prasad, Krishna prasad. But I had no time and I didn't get an opportunity to cook for you. So I thought, how if I could give you some sweet rice or something. He said, you should promise me that whole life you will never ever desire anything. Because this girl was not ordinary, she was Radharani herself. She had come and cooked for us because she wanted to fulfill your desire. So one time Rupa Goswami was writing something under Ter Kadamba. When he used to write the poetry of meeting of Radha Krishna, all the leaves will bloom, all the trees will bloom, new sprouts would come on the trees, birds would chirp, wonderful fragrance will come, bumblebees would come, honeybees would come. And when he would write the poetry about separation mode of Radha Krishna, all the trees will wither, they will dry up, the leaves will fall. Like autumn season, all the leaves fall. Understand? Such was all the trees in Ter Kadamba, they were actually Tadatmya with Rupa Goswami, his moods. If he was happy, they were also happy. If he is unhappy in separation, then he is also unhappy. They are also unhappy. So one time, Gurudev was telling that Sanatana Goswami, he asked Rupa, what are you writing? He said, I am writing something glorifying Radharani. He said, Chatu Pushpanjali, read it. Navagorochana Gaurim Pravarendi Varam Varam Manistavaka Vidyuti Veni Valangana Pana. Radharani's braid of hair is like black female serpent. Then both were living at Radha Kund that time, Rupa and Sanatana. Sanatana Goswami said, how you are comparing Radharani's braid to the black female serpent? I think some better other ornamental metaphor may be required. Rupa said, please suggest Gurudev. You are my Guru, please tell me, elder brother and Gurudev. Gurudev, please suggest some other metaphor, I will try to put that. So then he went to the Radha Kund area for parikrama and then he saw in one garden so many but beautiful covered girls young girls were swinging on the swing. And they saw one girl, all girls back there were big snakes, female serpents. He said, Lali, on your back, female serpent is there. It might bite you, but the girls kept on laughing. So then he went with a stick to drive away that female serpent from the back of that girl. And then all the girls laughing and they disappeared. Then he realized these are not ordinary girls, they were gopis. And the girl I was talking about whose head was, female serpent had climbed, and on the back there was a big black female serpent that was Radharani. Then he told Rupa Goswami that your metaphor was perfect. Today onward I will never correct your literature. And then he accepted, Sanatana Goswami accepted him as Guru. Understand? Although Rupa Goswami's Guru was Sanatana Goswami, but Sanatana Goswami actually accepted him as Guru. So both accepted each other as Guru. Can you imagine? So this Rupa and Sanatana, they are like the two arms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right and left arm. The Lord's bodily colors is Akrishna or not black. Means he is golden in complexion, which in combination with other statements in the Bhagavatam indicates is golden in who. Pita Varana Kali Pavana Gora. Srila Trivikram Maharaj used to write this, used to sing this song in Parikrama, Navadi Parikrama. Pita Varana Kali Pavana Gora. Very wonderful song. Pita Varana Kali Pavana Gora. गायै छन भाव विभोरा चित्त दर्पण परिमार्जनकारी कृष्ण कीर्तन जय चित्त विहारी हेला भव दाव निर्वापण वृत्ति कृष्ण कीर्तन जय क्लेश निवृत्ति श्रेय कुमुद विदु ज्योत्स्ना प्रकाश कृष्ण कीर्तन जय भक्ति विलास विशुद्ध विद्यावधु जीवन रूप कृष्ण कीर्तन जय सिद्ध स्वरूप आनंद पयोनिधि वर्धन कीर्ति कृष्ण कीर्तन जय प्लावन मूर्ति पदे पदे पीयूष स्वाद प्रदाता कृष्ण कीर्तन जय प्रेम विधाता भक्ति विनोद स्वात्म स्नपन विधान कृष्ण कीर्तन जय प्रेम निदान. This is actually the Bengali verse from Gitavali, Bengali song from Gitavali. This actually talks about the first verse of Shikshashtakam. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam. It is a translation of that verse in Bengali. Amazing verse. So, adopting the sentiment and golden lustre of Srimati Radhika, Shishananan Gaurari, the supreme deliverer of the fallen conditioned souls of Kali Yuga, would chant the holy names of Shri Krishna absorbed in a deep emotional state. By the potency of his kirtan, not only the sinful and materially afflicted people of Kali Yuga were delivered, but the birds, beasts, insects, and worms as well. While describing the glories of the holy name, he spoke as follows. So you see that Mahaprabhu did not come only for human beings. And this is what Swami Maharaj used to tell, one thing. He used to ask that, are these cows not citizens of America? These cows are also citizens of America. These dogs, birds, goats also citizens of America. So don't kill cows. Gurudev also telling that if they are killing cows, they can do anything. Such harmless creatures, such helpful creatures. Understand? So he wanted to deliver all the birds, beasts also. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shadhar Maharaj says, Vyagravaranaina vanya jantu Krishna dayakam prema nrutya bhava matta jhada khanda nayakam. Jhada khanda nayakam. When Mahaprabhu was passing through the forest of Jharkhand, Jharkhand is near Bihar, between Bengal and Bihar. Jantu Krishna dayakam. He even gave Krishna consciousness to the animals and birds, tigers, reptiles, even the ferocious animals. Vyagravaranaina vanya jantu Krishna dayakam jantu Krishna gayakam prema nritya bhava matta jhada khanda nayakam durga vanya marga bhatta marga sanga saukaram prema dhama devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premadhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. He went on, the Lord came upon Jharkhand forest where he magically induced tiger, deer and elephants and other forest creatures to sing with him the names of Krishna. Dancing sweetly in the mood of divine love and maddened by ecstasy, the Lord easily proceeded through inaccessible forest paths. Accompanied only by Balabhadra Bhattacharya, I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord, Gaurasundar, the beautiful, the divine abode of pure love. Even the tigers and deers, they began to chant Hare Krishna and started embracing each other. They lost the sense of their natural enmity and developed pure love of Godhead. Only Mahaprabhu can do this. Only Mahaprabhu. No one else can do this. Understand? So the chanting of the holy name of Shri Krishna thoroughly cleanses the mirror of the heart. It very easily extinguishes the blazing forest fire of mortal existence and dissipates once and for all the threefold miseries. So once Srila Gurudev was in Russia and the entire Russia was having forest fire. So much smoke was coming. Even in Ukraine, Srila Gurudev went Odessa. And there also, I heard that some smoke from Russia was coming. It's so much so that the Pandal also, smoke was coming from Russia. Entire Russia, all the forests were on fire. Amazing. So, can this forest fire be extinguished by Russian fire brigade department or Ukrainian fire brigade department? Not possible. Only when there is torrential rain, this forest fire can be exhausted. That is spiritual master's mercy. So, the threefold miseries, adhyatmic, miseries arising from one's own body and mind. Body and mind is giving so much trouble. Adibhautik, miseries arising from other living entities. And Adidevik, miseries arising from material nature of the demigods. Understand? As the moon by its nectarian soothing and cooling rays causes the white lotus to bloom, the holy name brings to blossom the white lotus of Bhava Bhakti, which is the highest benediction for the living entities. So you can see that there is night lilies. Night lilies will bloom only when the moon rises. Some lotuses bloom when the sun rises. They're called Kamala. But Kumudini, Kairava, the white lilies are in Sanskrit called Kairava. They bloom when the moon rises. So, the white lotus is compared to the Bhava Bhakti, very elevated stage of Bhava Bhakti. In your life, in this lifetime, if you progress nicely, chant Hare Krishna nicely, offenselessly, serve Guru Vaishnavas nicely, don't criticize anyone, then you may reach this stage of Bhava Bhakti. But you cannot reach higher than Bhava Bhakti. Ultimate limit of Bhakti, Sadhan Bhakti, you can get in this body is Bhava Bhakti, not Prem Bhakti, not possible. This body can never and never handle Prema, only can handle up to Bhava Bhakti. So we are all aspiring for Bhava Bhakti. Kriti Sadhya Bhavet Sadhya Bhavasa Sadhana Vida Nitya Siddhasya Bhavasa Prakatya Mrudi Sadhyata. Our aim is Bhava Bhakti. But the holy name will bring to blossom this white lotus of Bhava Bhakti. Spontaneous devotional service, which is the highest benediction for the living entities. If anyone who achieves the stage of Bhava Bhakti is considered the most successful person in this world. Gurudev said, wealth cannot help you. Control over the country's rulership will not help you. See, Gurudev said, in India there was Indira Gandhi. Her own bodyguards, fired at her and killed her. She had two beautiful sons, Rahul Gandhi, Sanjay Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. Sanjay Gandhi died in a plane crash, and Rahul Gandhi was also human bomb detonated him, died. In America, John F. Kennedy was such a powerful person. He was also shot dead. Mussolini, Hitler, Napoleon, what they did? They arrested him and they drowned him in the water, killed him. They were very powerful persons. In Russia, you see Stalin and Lenin, but they were so angry with Lenin also. Understand? So finally, where are they all gone? Nowhere they are. So Gurudev said, however powerful you are, ultimately, if you are not developed Krishna consciousness, bhakti, everything is a big zero. Understand? So this Nama Sankirtan can bestow upon you the highest benediction. That is what Mahaprabhu gave. May there be all victory for Shri Krishna Sankirtan, the embodiment of the variegated manifestations of bhakti. Unalloyed devotion is the embodiment of the highest knowledge. And it is like a new wife of Shri Krishna Sankirtan is a life of transcendental knowledge in the form of bhakti. Understand? So unalloyed devotion is the embodiment of highest knowledge. If you have bhakti, then you should know that you have studied in all universities. Understand? Those who are, like Gaura Babaji Maharaj, unlettered person. He never went to school, but he had the highest bhakti. So he was considered the most literate, educated, highly educated. And this bride of knowledge, Vidya Vadhu, is new wife. Shri Krishna Sankirtan is a life of transcendental knowledge in the form of bhakti. And Nama Prabhu is the husband of this wife of Vadhu, knowledge, Vidya Vadhu. Nama Sankirtan will induce this knowledge automatically. If you chant Hare Krishna offenselessly and chant the mantras given by Gurudev again and again without criticizing anyone, so much bhakti will come in your heart. Understand? So may there be all victory again and again for the chanting of the holy name of the Shri Krishna, which manifests the eternal constitutional form of the living entities. Shri Krishna Sankirtan expands the unfathomable, unlimited ocean of transcendental bliss. May there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Shri Krishna, which is an inundation of transcendental bliss. Shri Krishna Sankirtan enables one to taste ever increasingly fresh nectar at every step. May there be all victory again and again for the chanting of the holy name of Shri Krishna, which bestows love for him. The holy name forever bathes and immerses the chanter in this way. May there be all victory again and again for the chanting of the holy name of Shri Krishna, which is a storehouse of love of God. This Krishna Nam Sankirtan is a storehouse of love of Godhead. Understand? So you can see here that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so merciful, is so merciful. So here, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj is telling, Jai Jai Gadadhara Jai Srinivas, Jai Mukunda Vasudeva, Jai Haridas. All glories to Gadadhara Prabhu, all glories to Shivas Thakur, all glories to Mukunda Prabhu and Vasu Prabhu, and all glories to Haridas Thakur. This Vasu Ghosh and Mukunda Prabhu and Vasu Ghosh, Vasudeva Prabhu, I think they were great singers. Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosha Adhikaya Shankho Baje Ghanta Baje Kortala Madhurya Mridanga Baje Paramarasala. So this Mukunda Prabhu, a great singer, I think he knew Mahaprabhu was taking sannyas. And he also went to Katwa. He went to Katwa when Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Some people were there. And among them Mukunda was also there. Gurudev was telling. Nityananda Prabhu was also there. They were present for Mahaprabhu's sannyas ceremony. And Haridas Thakur is actually Brahma only. But because he had committed offense to Krishna's pastimes by stealing calves and covered bones, actually he knew Krishna is Bhagavan, but he wanted to see some more pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Krishna. That's why he stole the calves and covered bones. So he said, next time I don't want to commit any offense. So let me simply become an outcast. Means Yavana, take me birth in a family of meat eaters, Muslims, and let me become Haridas Thakur. So he was chanting 3 lakh holy names every day. All glories to him. Jai Damodara Swarupa Jai Murari Gupta Aisava Chandro Day Tamakaila Gupta. Now all glories to Damodar Swarup. This is the name of the Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Now Swarup Damodar apparently took sannyas, but he retained his I think he went to Prayag or maybe Kashi and he took sannyas there, North India, and but he retained the name, the Brahmachari name. Damodar Swarup is actually Brahmachari name. It's not a sannyas name. He kept the same name. Like Mahaprabhu also. Mahaprabhu did not take sannyas name. He took the name Krishna Chaitanya, which is actually name for the Brahmachari of the Bharati order. In Bharati Sampradaya, like Dashanam Sampradaya, means there are in Mayavad there are 10 names are there. Tirtha and this Bharati, Ashram, Van. These are all 10 names, Dashanam. So Mahaprabhu retained the name of a Brahmachari name, like Krishna Chaitanya. And Murari Gupta. What is the meaning of the word Murari Gupta? Murari is Krishna. Actually, Mura demon. Krishna killed a demon called Mura demon. You understand? Mura demon. Like Gurudev will tell in the Venu Git, the story of Mura demon. One time one demon, Mura, I think became very powerful. And he was Hare Krishna.
We are not able to hear you now.
Are you able to hear?
Now fine now.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So here, Murari Gupta means Krishna is staying in the heart of Murari Gupta Prabhu in a hidden manner. Gupta means hidden manner. But he was incarnation of Hanuman. He was a great Ram Bhakta. Actually, Mahaprabhu told him to worship Krishna, but he said, I will give up my life, but not give up the lotus feet of Ram. Because he was himself Hanuman. So he is called Murari. Srila Gurudev says that we have taken shelter of Shri Nandanandan. Generally, gopis call Krishna Murari. They say that we have taken shelter of Shri Nandanandan, who has all qualities of Narayan, the destroyer of the Mura demon. It is very sad, however, that we are always tormented by Kama or Cupid. Although the killer of moon is aware of this, he makes no arrangement to punish Mara or Kama, lust. Sri Narayan has become famous as Murari by killing the demon Mura and thus making the demigods fearless. In the same way, if Krishna destroys Mara, he will become famous as Murari and will be recognized as having the same qualities as Narayan, otherwise not. With Mara destroyed, Ramanis will breathe a sigh of relief. Mara. Understand? Here the Mara means to beat someone. India में कहते हैं ना मारना. Someone who beats everyone or torments everyone is called Cupid. Kama. Kama esha krodha esha rajuguna samudbhava. Mahashano mahapapma viddinam he virinam. The greatest enemy we have is Kama. And Shri Krishna is the destroyer of Kama. Because Krishna is Brahmachari. They say that Krishna is Brahmachari. Understand? He is the greatest Brahmachari. Understand? Although he was with all the gopis, he was still Brahmachari. So anyways, Maraha. Krishna is also Cupid personified. Mara Swayam no Madhurat Dhyutina. Mara Swayam no Madhurat Dhyutina. Bilomangal Thakur also says Krishna is Mara personified, Cupid personified. He is the original Cupid. And remembering Krishna will remove this Cupid from our heart, Kama from our heart. So once Narayan became famous as Murari because he killed a demon called Mura, gopis are telling. So they are comparing the lust in their heart as Mura demon. Actually, gopis have no lust, they have only love. Understand? So in this way, Murari is the name of Krishna who killed the Mura demon. So you see that very trickily Krishna killed Murari. Understand? Mura demon he killed very trickily. Actually, he told Mura that your heart is palpitating, you are afraid of fighting with me. And he had got a benediction from Lord Brahma that if he will keep his hand on anyone's chest, that person will die. So he wanted to touch the chest of Lord Brahma, that Mura demon, so that he can kill Brahma. But Krishna went to him and in the shape of Brahmachari or something and said, I will fight with you, but I think you are not ready to fight with me because your heart is throbbing, palpitating. Your heart is, very afraid. He said, no, my heart is not palpitating, my heart is not throbbing. And then he touched his hand to his chest and he died. So in this trickily Krishna got rid of Mura demon. So he's called Murari. Murari. We should remember Murari all the time. Krishna's name Murari, very sweet name. Dinadau Murare, Nishadau Murare, Dinante Murare, Nishante Murare, Dinardhe Murare, Nishardhe Murare, Tvameko Gatirna. So this Murari is actually Ram Bhakta. And Mahaprabhu also could not change his constitutional position. Like there was one time after Navadvip Parikrama in Navadvip, all the great sannyasis gathered. Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Rishikesh Maharaj, Gurudev, and all so many sannyasis, brahmacharis gathered there. And then for the benefit of all the devotees, Srila Rishikesh Maharaj asked one question to Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj. He may know the answer, Bhakti Rishikesh Maharaj, but for the benefit of the persons who are gathered there, he asked a question to Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj. That is the Jiva Swarupa eternal or it is depends on sadhan bhajan or association? Then Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Maharaj said, it is actually fixed. Jiva Swarupa is fixed. Then Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj elaborating said that you may plant jackfruit seed on the bank of Ganga. You may plant mango seed on the bank of Ganga. But jackfruit seed will give rise to only jackfruit tree. And mango seed will give rise to the mango tree. Although all the clay, ecological conditions, all the conditions, environmental conditions are the same. But depending on the seed, the tree will come. If the jackfruit seed is there, jackfruit tree only will come, not mango tree. Or the clay may be the same, water may be the same, air may be the same, sunlight may be the same, sunshine may be the same, everything may be the same. So like that, irrespective of two persons chanting the same Hare Krishna mantra, someone's swarup may be different. So Murari Gupta may be also chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but his swarup that he was Hanuman never changed. Even Mahaprabhu could not change his swarupa. So swarupa of a jiva is fixed. Even Bhagavan doesn't change that. Understand? So Murari Gupta, a great associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was actually a doctor. He was a Kaviraj. Not only he used to give the medicines to cure the mundane material diseases, but also used to give the transcendental medication of the holy name of Krishna. All these brilliant moons have together dissipated the darkness of this material world. All these devotees are compared to the moons. Jai Shri Chaitanya Chandrer Bhakta Chandra Gana Sabara Prema Jyotsnai Ujvala Tribhuvana. All glories to the... Actually, this author of this book is called Krishnadas Kaviraj. Kaviraj means king of all the poets. Such a great poetry has written. Kaviraj also means an Ayurvedic doctor in Bengal. But he is not that type of Kaviraj. He is actually crest jewel of all the transcendental poets. Because he is writing all the poetry by the mercy of Radha Madan Mohan, Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to the moons who are devotees of the principal moon, Lord Shri Chaitanya Chandra. Their bright moonshine illuminates the entire universe. Like the scientists, NASA scientists also say that Earth has one moon, and the Mars may have 8 moons, and the Jupiter may have 12 moons. Understand? So they look through their, instruments, and then they say that they predict. Understand? They predict like this. So we are not opposed to their conception, but we are just telling that in this verse we find the moon described as Chandragad, which is a plural number. This indicates that there are many moons. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Nakshatranam aham shashi. Among the stars, I am the moon. Nakshatra means there are 27 nakshatras, Rohini and other. So, means the moon has, I think, 27 wives, and there are all the constellations. But best among these constellations is the moon. All the stars are like the moon. Western astronomers consider stars to be suns, but Vedic astronomers following the Vedic culture consider them moons. The sun has the ability to shine powerfully, and the moons reflect the sunshine and therefore look brilliant. So you see, so much nice knowledge Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj is giving. Actually, when the ISKCON started, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj told that a man never reached the moon. And many people left ISKCON. They said, no, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj should withdraw his statement. Then we'll join again ISKCON. He cannot criticize the modern science. Then Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, he said, no, I am not going to withdraw my statement. I am telling you what Bhagavatam says. Man cannot reach the moon. Because sun is 100,000 yojanas, means 800,000 miles above the earth, and above the sun, 800,000 miles is the moon. If they cannot even reach the sun, how can they reach the moon? He said, look in a calendar. First comes Sunday, the day of the sun. Then comes Monday, the day of the moon. It is never in the calendar that Monday comes before Sunday. He said, this shows the order of the planets. First is the sun planet, and then the moon planet. And then Mars and other planets. So he was so logical, understand? He used to speak from logic. And Bhagavatam. The sun has the ability to shine powerfully, and the moon reflects the sunshine and therefore look brilliant. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna is described to be like the sun. Like Sripad Dandi Maharaj also many times told me. He said, you use a magnifying glass and converge the rays of the sun on a piece of cloth or a piece of paper using the magnifying glass, convex or concave glass. Then you can set wood or even anything on fire, grass, dry grass, using the convergence of the rays of the sun. But he said, you cannot do this. You cannot do this with the moonlight, Sripad Dandi Maharaj told me. Moonlight is cooling in nature. It's different type of light. Apparently in Ramayana also, Ravana went to near moon. All his soldiers fainted because of the extreme cooling nature of the moon. It was sub-zero temperature there. And Ravana also somehow maintained his consciousness. and he wanted to attack Racha moon, but Lord Brahma, he forbade Ravan, don't attack moon. Understand? So anyways, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna is described to be like the sun. The supreme powerful is the supreme personality of God, Shri Krishna, or Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his devotees are also bright and illuminating because they reflect the supreme sun. So you see that Krishna is compared to the sun, but sometimes the sun rays, especially in Tirupati now, we used to go preaching like 8 o'clock, do Nagar Kirtan, but now we change the time to 6 o'clock. Because by the time 9 o'clock, Tirupati sun is little hotter, difficult to bear the sun rays. You have to carry an umbrella or maybe cover with a cap your head, otherwise very hot. So this is the weather here in South India, some part of South India, like Tirupati and Tamil Nadu, very hot in the summer season. So sun sometimes heat may be unbearable, but the moonshine is always very cooling, understand? So Krishna may punish sometimes, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never punishes, he rewards only. He always very kind and compassionate to the fallen souls. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar, jahan Krishna tanai Maya radhikar. Krishna is bright like the sun, and as soon as the sun appears, there is no question of darkness or nations. Similarly, this verse also describes that by the illumination of all the moons, brightened by the reflection of the Krishna sun, or by the grace of all devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the entire world will be illuminated, despite the darkness of Kali Yuga. Understand? So this Kali Yuga is a horrible time, but Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and all the devotees of all over the world, ISKCON devotees, Gaudiya devotees, this world is now bearable. Understand? Hare Krishna. So I think I have to go to the temple now for fire sacrifice, Agnihotra. Tonight I will again conduct a class, Indian Standard Time, 9 o'clock. Understand? Because I have to, some now devotees are waiting for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare
Good day. Good
Dandai,
day.
Dandai. Thank
Good
you
day.
so much.
Hare Krishna,
Good day.
Dhammapan. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Good day.
Ah.
Before you go, this is a call from Guyana, Sati
Yes, yes.
Mataji.
Yes.
I know you said a lot of things that actually I don't know where to start, where to go. There's so much point you make that I can ask you, and there's no time. But answer me two things. The core of the heart, to get out this virtue from the heart, what you do, and two, this carrot and this mushroom, is it good to eat?
Hmm. Haribol?
You hear me, Gurudev?
Yeah, can you please tell again?
You hear me, right?
Yes,
I
yes, tell
said
me.
the carrot and the mushroom, is it good to eat? That one. And two, the core of the heart, in order to get the virtue out of the heart, or you said all the sanskar, good sanskar, is in the heart, the core of the heart. How can you excel them? How can you get them out?
Oh, it will come by initiation. You get connected to spiritual master. Hear Harikatha from stop eating meat, fish, eggs, because your food decides
I
your.
don't eat that.
Yeah, don't do that. And you follow Ekadashi also, right?
Yes, I follow
Yes, that
Ekadashi.
follow. And
This
you are
dry
taking
fast.
onion garlic. Are you taking onion garlic or carrots?
I take carrot and I take honey, no garlic.
No, okay. Please stop onion. Onion is like beef.
Not
Onion will.
onion, honey. I don't
Honey.
eat
Honey
no
is fine. Honey is
onion.
fine. Honey you can take all
Oh,
year long, except in the 4 months of rainy season. Chaturmasya we don't take honey. Understand? So
and this carrot and
yeah.
what about
And you
carrot?
carrots you don't take. Carrots we don't take. Mushrooms and carrots. So when you start offer your food to Krishna and get connected to Shripad Dandi Maharaj, you get Harinam from him. You call him someday and he will give you Harinam Mahamantra on the phone. Then you chant that Harinam 16 rounds every day, and also later on he will give you the Gopal mantra, other mantra. First chant Hare Krishna. You have to hear the mantra from Guru, understand? So then you start chanting Mahamantram and as given by Gurudev, Sripad Dandi Maharaj, and then you hear the classes of Sripad Dandi Maharaj and myself and other devotees, and always read the books of Srila Gurudev. Slowly transformation will take place, and not in one day, because we have been Maya for time immemorial, understand? So the samskaras are there.
Actually, I was following the Brahmkumari path for a very long time, over 30 years now.
Okay.
And on that path, I've seen a lot of lives has been taken, and I want to know where the sanskar come from that caused that to happen in front of my eyes. I've seen a lot of people died innocently.
Yes.
And that is why I leave the Brahmkumari, but I don't know where I didn't. It doesn't have guru in this part of the world, in Guyana here, so I can get this guru mantra that you talk about, a different type of guru mantra.
Yes, Maharaj will give you, and then you chant this mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, after receiving from Maharaj. That will give you tremendous strength, because Maharaj is also a great devotee of Krishna. He is a very elevated devotee. And once you have the connection and you stay in association of Maharaj, even on electronic medium or, and hear Harikatha of myself and other devotees, read the books of Gurudev, and help the preaching mission like this, then certainly, Krishna will help you. Understand?
I sent you a text on your WhatsApp.
Yeah, my WhatsApp has no calling. If you can make an account on Telegram, then I think I'm more better with Telegram, because this tab I have doesn't run WhatsApp so well. So small phone, that only texting ability is there. But even this Google Meet or Zoom application, I can talk. Understand? Any other application which doesn't require like WhatsApp. WhatsApp somehow has some conditions. The Telegram is also fine. Like Ganga Didi also, I told her, Vishaka Didi, they all, even Mohan Prabhu also from Singapore also. We chat on Telegram all the time, because it's more open, and in Telegram also I have created a group of Gurudev, and your daily Harikatha will come every day to your mailbox. So every day I hear the Harikatha of Srila Gurudev, and I feel I am in the presence of Gurudev directly. And some great souls have put the videos of Gurudev on YouTube. And when I see those videos, again and again I see, even I was physically present when those programs took place. But I was maybe that time neophyte devotee or absent-minded. So when I again and again hear the lectures of Srila Gurudev, then I realize that he's making so many deep points. So much nectar is giving in his lectures, understand? Also, there are many interviews of,
There's a lot of deep points you make, and I don't know where to start. But you're such a far away from me.
Don't worry. You start by chanting Hare Krishna mantra first. As soon as you get a chance, Vishaka Didi will help you connect to Sripad Dandi Maharaj. You take Harinam from him immediately, okay? Tomorrow or any time. Today is
So
gone.
9 o'clock.
Tomorrow.
So 9 o'clock
I'll give class today again.
9 o'clock at your time. 9 a.m. or p.m.
You call Maharaj, we'll arrange a time for you, no? Vishaka Didi will arrange or I'll arrange. So tomorrow, maybe or day after tomorrow, anytime in this week, Maharaj, I'll tell him that he wants to take Harinam. You stop immediately onion first. Onion you should stop immediately.
I don't take.
Okay, you don't
take. Okay, so
how
this
about
dry fast.
Tea, coffee?
No coffee.
Tea you take?
No tea.
No tea. Okay, good. Then you are in Sattvic, you are in Sattva Guna. So you should, don't worry. Maharaj will accept you as his daughter, spiritual daughter. See, material relationship is for only one life with your father and mother. But the relationship we are going to have with Sripad Dandi Maharaj is lifetime after lifetime. And our relationship also lifetime after lifetime, because we are all God brothers, God sisters. Understand? So we are all one well family. Gurudev said, the word is not Guru brother, word is God brother. We are all sons and daughters of God, so we are God brothers. Understand?
Yeah.
Gurudev said that any guru, he should engage his disciples in the service of Krishna. Understand? And Gurudev gives so much nice realization. So, anyways, Didi, I have to run now because people are waiting for me. I'll answer more of your questions 9 o'clock.
One more. What's the purpose of this dry fast?
Pardon?
The dry fast. Don't take even water. What is the purpose of that?
Today,
Yeah.
today we are paying respect to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is Vishnu Tattva. He is Krishna. So, appearance of Vishnu Tattva day, we generally fast like Gaura Purnima, Ram Navami. But if you cannot do it totally, then you can, Maharaj has permitted to take some fruit or also some lemonade, jaggery and lemon water if you are feeling too much hardship. Okay. And then after evening time, I don't know what time is evening time, you can take Ekadashi Prasadam like fruit, potatoes, like this. I'll send you the list of the Vishaka Didi. I'll forward to her and she'll forward to you the list of permittable foodstuffs on Ekadashi. Today is like Ekadashi. This will make you advance in bhakti.
Explain the purpose of dry fast, what you can gain from that dry fast.
Well, actually, you make progress because it cleanses the system of you and also it gives you bhakti. Mahaprabhu, you can attract him by doing fasting today. You do some austerity to Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu will be very satisfied. And he will bestow bhakti. The whole purpose of everything is bhakti only. We have no purpose but bhakti. Everything we do is for bhakti only. It is some hardship, but it bestows bhakti upon us. We like food very much, we like drinks very much. But today, for our beloved Mahaprabhu, we sacrifice our most near and dear things. So in this way, we bring him happiness. Understand? If you love someone, you have to sacrifice the most important thing you love. And that is even water for his satisfaction.
Okay.
That is love. Love means sacrifice. Alright, Didi. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Class the same time, sorry, at 9 o'clock in the
Yes. I'll try to come because our temple also have program. After that, I'll come 9 o'clock. I'll try my best. Okay?
We were connected, so here.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat to all. Hare
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Panchaka Krishna Jnana. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Hare Dandavat. Hare
Hare Krishna Dhanapam. Thank you so much, Vishnu
Dandavat.
Daivata Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Forward the link for 9 o'clock class, okay? Yeah. Please forward the link for 9 o'clock. Or maybe the same link we can use, okay? Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna Dhanapam. Just wondering if anyone would like to offer anything. If not, I will end the class with Jai Tuani. If anyone would like to offer anything?
Anything like what? Like
Like
Harinam? Or
there was a
song or something?
there was a picture in the group, and then I think some people were offering like Mangala Charana, like Gaura Bhajan, or like
Okay.
Radha Krishna Bhajan. Yeah.
Okay, let me sing one then.
Okay, sounds good.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Jaya Jaya Gopi